Finally. Okay. I really apologize about this. I really, really do. But it wasn't me this time. It's not. So I'm sorry. I appreciate all the people that waited. StreamYard, yeah, not me, not my internet. We're fine. StreamYard was being the douche. Okay. I have been trying to get on here for almost 10 minutes to be live for you people. And I have never, in the history of using StreamYard, have ever had in the corner it popped up and said, like high traffic area. That's what the hell it said. Please wait. And I'm okay. Look, thank you. Just my rant will end in a minute. All right. But well, that's hey, hon, I'm going to explain everything here because, like I said, I was trying to get on for almost 10 minutes, and fucking StreamYard went off as like high traffic area, wait 30 to 60 seconds, and I did, and then I'm like, I never had that happen out of the year or two I've done StreamYard. And by the way, Jen, yeah, there is no duck because 20 minutes ago I finally took care of everything. So no duck. Okay. Deep breaths, deep cleansing breaths. Do you know how to know something that's kind of, I'm not into yoga, by the way, or TM. A good BM once in a while, that was too much. See, I know. I always get the weird ass shit. It's the end of the world it is first world problems. You're right. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't, because I think I had a majority of a good day. So I really have no right to bitch, I guess, right? I'm just a big fat bitch anyway. But I appreciate all you people sticking around. So I was going to tack on an extra, but here's what the title is. Surfer's Choice of Guns with Girls in Purgatory. Then I was going to add Rest in Peace Bluesbreaker, because yes, this video today of Psychos Platters is dedicated to now the late John Mayall, died at the age of 90. I think it was yesterday. And I love some of the world. I have realized that, yeah, you woke up to, I know. I thank God just as much as I bitch at him too. I'm always thankful about that. And if I can't talk to God like I talk to you guys, what's the point, right? I was always brought up as, hey, you could talk to him like he's your friend. Well, then guess what? He's heard me. He's heard me lots of times, with or without coffee, but it's always best with coffee. So I'm sorry for the delay. But yes, rest in peace, John Mayall. My God, what a musician, okay? I mean, let's face it. He got started, I think it was 1960, but like his first record came out in 63, I think. I mean, let's face it. We've talked about how the Beatles were the gateway to rock, but let's go to John Mayall. John Mayall was a gateway to R&B and that kind of stuff, you know. And we were the world was better for it. I mean, okay, let's face it. You know, even though Eric Clapton already was starting to be a star with the Yardbirds, he left to go with the Bluesbreakers, right? And guess what? He ends up meeting, if I remember correctly, it was Jack Bruce. Cream gets formed for breaking away from Mayall after that, right? Another one, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie. All right. They went, although let's be technical, the original bass player to Fleetwood Mac was Bob Brunning. Most people don't know that. He only lasted about 4 or 5 months. And then finally, John was able to join the band. So there is a record out there with Brunning on it, but I don't remember the title. And so you have the origins of Cream. You have, you know, so the seeds of Cream, the seeds of Fleetwood Mac, Mick Taylor, who would go off to the Stones. You also had, oh boy. So if I remember correctly, I think, you had other guitar players too. If you went through the school of Mayall, then, and you made it. And how I found out about his death was actually Bernard Allison. I am on his Facebook page, but I met Bernard many, many, many years ago. So yeah, that's right. I have unlimited, which means Psycho can yap. I do monthly. I'm not doing the year right now, although it is cheaper to do the year, but I'm just going to try to remember around every 30 days from today to renew. So yeah, no duck anymore. Quack quack, mother ducker, quack quack. Would that be a Mayall order school? Yes, it is a Mayall order school. I mean, I'm trying to think what other. I mean, Papa Chubby. Oh God, who the hell was the other one? There was another guy. There's lots of them. You could probably dig up a whole shit ton. I said shit ton. And then to top that off, Sandy Posey died at the age of 80. I found that news out earlier this afternoon. And 80 years old due to dementia related. So those two. I could have sworn there also was another celebrity death in the last 48 hours since I've been on Monday, but I can't remember who the hell it is anymore. If anybody remembers, put it in the comments because that'd be nice. I did alert the VC Justice League as much as I could from what I saw. Some said they are going to try to make it. Some said that they would make it, and some are question marks, but not Mysterians. So let's see. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, the sub count went up, but nobody's been mentioned yet. So I appreciate the people liking and subscribing and getting here into the Psycho universe, right? I appreciate it. Now, see, I didn't know, Ivan, that he was a member of the Order of the British Empire. I did not know that. So, yeah, I mean, he was a couple months shy of 91. Now, if I remember correctly, because I was looking on Mayall's thing yesterday, 2022 was the last release. That's right. Yeah, I mentioned on Monday, Duke Vicar from the Four Tops. And, that was the last OG Four Top. Four Tops are still out there. Don't go now. There's no reason to. Actually, what I heard was in 23, I think it was in early 23, Duke retired from the road. So you go see the Four Tops. You might as well listen to the Four Tops records. Seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I'll tell you something. It's a blessing, not a Michael blessing, but it's a blessing to have this one when she can. The gorgeous. Oh. You betcha. What do you got there? What is that?
Cross stitch frame thing I'm working on. So don't mind me while I'm doing this while we do.
It's okay. Knit one, purl two.
We're on the same idea.
What the? Okay, I remember where I learned that from. Come to think of it, it was Warner Brothers. It was Granny from the Sylvester and Tweety.
Knit one, purl two, even though you will rarely ever find that combination in an actual knitting pattern. I think in all the years I've knitted, I've encountered it about twice.
Maybe. Look what Dave says. Mayall was the first rock musician to make it to 90. Maybe.
Damn, really?
He might have. Dave might be right. Dave might be right on that.
They don't have a very long lifespan, do they?
Not rip. Oh. I like how you throw. Our next guest. I like how he changes things up. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it's got to be Jeff, right?
We had him from the warehouse on Monday, but he's not in the warehouse. We're talking about Camera 4. That's right, Ova Day.
I love how that tiny little snippet. I knew exactly who it was.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing,
Missed
guys?
you, damn it.
You have been very missed.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
We're
Stop
serious.
it. Stop it.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's like this. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, I missed
Man, oh,
you
man.
too. I have. Just
All
my work
right.
hours are like really strange. You know, and oh boy. Gotta get that job.
It's what a picture of
No,
Dolan.
no.
Oh,
God,
did you? No, it's David Donnelly.
Hi.
never answered that, but no, it's a
We're teasing David, I think.
my
I'm
freaking
not sure.
Flintstones thing I've been working on for months. So.
Oh, Flintstones.
Oh, I love it.
Meet the
I thought this
Flintstones.
was
They're the
gonna be
Monty
a
Stone Age family.
project. I thought it was going to be a quick little project that would take maybe like 3 months. And
my
next
God,
thing I
I didn't
know,
know
watch, it's going to be like 3 years.
I was teasing, and look what the next. Since he heard everything, to Bob New. I know. I love Newhart. My God,
I heard about that one too. That one made me sad.
It's like, geez. And I forgot all about this. I was so wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. It's rare, but I'll admit it. I think I said that one of the final appearances of Newhart was in Elf. I am wrong. It would have been Big Bang Theory as the the TV science teacher. What the hell was his name?
Oh,
Mr.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God.
I can't remember.
It's been too long since I've watched it, but I
got a
swear I know exactly who you mean.
Professor Proton.
Yes.
Oh, that's it, Professor Proton.
Thank you.
And I was watching those clips.
But I knew that wasn't right. Proton. That was it.
I did love him. I really wish that I could have met him.
That would have been a really cool one to meet.
My best buddy Scott up in Illinois, he had a bunch of Newhart albums. He does. He collects that. He's got Smothers Brothers. I mean, he's got an eclectic record collection too. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of helped him get back into vinyl. I was a devil's advocate back about 20 plus years ago. Okay,
awesome.
hang on a minute here. James says, David, I just subbed to your channel. You are a really famous, and he is. And that when he takes the time to come here, and when I get a little more money, I'm going to start getting a couple of David's records because I like them. Don't try to fix it. I just need you to listen. Every man has heard these words, and they are the law of the land, no matter what. I loved your lightning video. David says, Beetle Babe, do you need me to send you a full-length photo to paste the cross stitch on? It's no trouble.
You know, I actually do have a program that can turn literally any photo into a cross stitch pattern. So I could do that. I used to sell them actually. So
damn.
I've got many Monkees ones still sitting around that I myself have yet to do, but people sent me pictures of their completed ones.
I wonder how much it would cost to get a Psychoplatter logo cross stitch.
It would depend on the cost of supplies mostly.
Yeah.
And how big you want it to be.
Ah, gotcha.
Actually, embroidered cloth isn't that expensive. The fabric kind of is sometimes, but I would think something like that. There's not that many colors in it, so.
So there you go.
I should have you do one of my my cartoon face
tattoos. Oh yeah, that would be easy.
Yes.
Then put on the bottom, who the fuck is Jeff Allen?
I can do that too.
That's great.
See, I didn't start out with the simple, basic ones most people do. I started out at like the photorealistic ones from the word go, because I do everything the hard way, always. So I started out with like my photorealistic one of Liza. And everything since then has been simple by comparison. And this is how I learn every craft. I start out with something hard, so everything after that is easy peasy. So.
So you betcha.
And it's not the way most people do it, but I'm a Capricorn. We always overcomplicate shit. So.
Okay.
I know what that's like. I'm one too.
I know you are.
So I have some Capricorns. Okay. Yeah. I'm a Libra on a Virgo cusp.
My sister's a Virgo, but I get along better with Libras, so that makes sense.
So let's see. We need a Pisces. We've already got a Capricorn, and we need a Jones. So anybody out there with the last name of Jones?
Hey, can I bitch about something?
You can gladly bitch about whatever you want.
What the Monkees are quit releasing versions of Headquarters, please. Stop
I know,
that.
right?
And give us one of the ones that
What
they
the
haven't
hell?
done to death.
Now this one has red and blue vinyl.
I saw.
I
I
did
saw.
see that. So let me ask this question, because I didn't have a chance to really
We all
read the
know the box
description.
set that we all want.
Right.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
There must be something up with that because they won't touch that album. Why?
It's really weird. I don't understand why.
There must be something with like somebody who wrote the songs.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
So here's okay. I only heard a teensy weensy, and I don't know how true it is. I tripped on this a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Something about, oh my God, something about some of the tapes. It has something to do with some of the tapes. I don't know if, like, okay, listen, I love records, but I'm an idiot when it comes to, I mean, I think it's fascinating to watch the manufacturing of vinyl. I think it's fascinating to watch a recording process. I think it's fascinating to go see step A to Z on whatever our record and everything the tapes are made.
Yeah.
But something about, so, okay, you've got master tape.
You don't like the outtakes, yeah.
I love outtakes, but if they're different,
yeah,
alternate takes, excuse me, if they're kind of different from what I'm used to. Like, for example, we'll talk Pisces for a second. When I picked up in the mid '90s on CD, which I have all of the Rhino CDs, and the extra tracks, including the alternate takes of Salesman was weird. I'm so glad they kept it the way it was, because there was yapping at the end of it. I'm going, don't like it. Then there was an alternate take of oh God, there was another one.
Terrible.
Yeah. See, here's the weird thing. I love the horns, but that first version with the keyboards suck. I don't know who the hell stuck those keys on there, and I'm like, they should have just wiped that part and just kept everything else.
Yes.
But
I agree 100%.
But I will confess, I guess I fibbed, because there's probably other than that BBM. I said BBM. In the mono that I'm looking for, I guess I really would like an OG of the She Hangs Out Canadian single.
Ooh, that would be a nice
with that first version. I mean, I've seen pictures. Maybe so, but still, it's like it wasn't around that damn long. And then to even kiss more ass, if you will, Davy Jones had a record label because Kirshner made it. And they only made, I think it was 6 or 8 45s. I have yet to see one of those because they were made in such small numbers, and it was all different kinds of music. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So it's not
the track tag on eBay. Every once in a very, very rare blue moon, I see them pop up, and they want insane prices for them, understandably so. But not often that those turn up.
So here's the thing. I'm such a, well, Michelle knows. She's probably watching. Her and me were huge Monkees fans in high school. But in fact, that might be hopefully some of the collection I'm acquiring. But needless to say, I think it was a year or two ago, I tripped on, oh God, I can't remember what Facebook monkey group. And eBay put up on auction. It was a was it a demo, but it was an alternate take of, it was Bill Chadwick's copy of French Song. And I'm going, okay, that may not be one of my favorites, but I don't give a shit. I said, this would be cool. Yeah. And
I've been friended on Facebook, by the way.
Huh?
I've been friended on Facebook, by the way.
See, yeah, exactly.
Do
you? Oh, you do? Okay.
What the hell is French Song?
French Song is on Instant Replay, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Oh,
thank you.
I didn't buy those.
If you heard it.
I didn't buy those.
No, I think you'd still know it if you heard it.
I hate to say this, but I think a lot of people back in the day jumped off the monkey train, obviously between BBM and Head. But, I mean, I wouldn't have, just because I'm like, I think Head is one of the coolest fucked up movies there that I've ever seen
Hell yeah,
regarding
man.
music. I do. I mean, I want to see
genuinely adore that movie.
all the outtakes. I want to see all the damn outtakes. It's like,
I'm the person that wrote a 36-page long analytical essay in high school about that damn movie. 36 pages. Wrote it in one night. I stayed up all night to do it. So it's just like, I genuinely freaking love that damm movie.
There is a super
That
fan
was
if I ever heard of one.
My ex-wife and I, that was our first date. We watched that
Oh,
movie
that's so cute.
because we're big Monkees fans together. So.
Oh, I love that.
That's why we're not together now. See something there you
Yeah. But eventually I'll get the damn Blu-ray on that whole thing. Eventually. Now that we know that it's not damn limited edition, Rhino, you little sneaky ass people. They think they're so funny.
Just like the Blu-ray box set of the show, too, being like, oh yeah, we will never sell this again. Totally out. Nope, never. Then magically, we found another pallet of them.
They should have advertised it on Facebook. I told my son about it, and he goes, that's mine. And we got it.
Here's what they should have done proper. If I was the one that ran Rhino, went through all 10,000, and I'm just like, it went, based on, okay, how quick did they sell? Holy shit, they sold fast. Then I'd be like, all right, we're going to go off and hold off for a few months. After giving out those 10,000 to sell, we'll hold off for a few months. We're going to crank out the set again, but one of two things would be different. Okay. Obviously, the numbered copies, all right, so they're going to have something to make sure that is truly a collectible. So either A, I would have removed the lenticular
and made it
straight, or...
That would bring down the price immensely right there.
Right, or a different picture
or that
on
would
the front.
And
just gone with that and crank it up, and people would still have bought it, and then there wouldn't have been well, yeah, I mean, I've only come across maybe a half a dozen copies over the years. I do have, and I'm not really that impressed with it, but because I only paid $15 for the alternate head, that's why I kept it. But I mean, it's weird to listen to it. It's going, okay, just because they changed the running order a little bit, and there was some like.
I'm not into them changing that part of it. That actually screwed with me a little bit. I wasn't happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, but needless to say, I wonder. I agree with you, Jeff, wholeheartedly about the whole headquarter thing. I mean, I need all the box sets. Okay, I wish I could have the deluxe editions. I would have loved them all. And as we've heard, changes will never have the complete thing. And it's like, because
nor
the tapes...
nor will pool it.
Yeah, the master tapes are lost, supposedly, and still lost. And except for, what is it, the bonus tracks, which I love doing in the name of love, even if it was a year later after that damn record. That song is catchy as shit, and I just love how they take turns singing the lead, and I'm just like, I mean, that would have been like one of those ones that it was bubblegum. It was still bubblegum, but it kind of leaned a little towards R&B because of Mickey. It sounded like he was doing a tent revival at one point. I'm like going, okay, I said, I like this. Those two were perfect together. I really think so.
And that's why they were the two that toured together the most out of all of them, too.
That is correct. I got the alternate head and RSD. There was a record store day copy of Head.
Yes, there was.
What was the difference, if there was any?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember it existing. I'm sure Lisa will fill you in, though.
Probably, yeah.
But I do remember it existing.
But yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
I've got a 1982 copy of the Head soundtrack from Japan.
Ooh.
With Obi.
Very cool.
Jeff, is that the same copy? You've seen mine. Is that the same copy that I got?
Or it's got the different cover?
Yeah, I think that's 82. I tried to figure out the year. So good. I knew it was 80s. I just didn't know when. Yeah.
I got mine for $10 at and I couldn't pass it up. Still had the Obi
Yeah.
on. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That sounds about right. I think mine. No, I cheated. I got it from eBay. I got one the decent bid.
No shame in that.
I'll tell you this. This one pissed me off a little bit. This was a couple months ago. I don't go on eBay a lot because even though I'm not an addict, I do have a hard time being responsible when it comes to something like, ooh, you know.
And then
So
bidding wars that you can't really justify, but you're already
right.
there and you already did it, and well, crap. Now I guess I'm bound to it. So this
So
is
there,
how I'm
yeah.
like.
So there was a yellow label promo copy of oh my god, oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm like that single is the toughest son of a bitch single out of all the Colchum 45s to come out, especially with the picture sleeve. That picture sleeve is one of the toughest damn things, and eventually I'll get one. I did see one up for auction, but they wanted a ridiculous amount of money. I'm like, I don't think so. I said not, and it wasn't in perfect shape or anything, but I was like, I don't think so.
That's one of my things that went walking when we got robbed. I had one. I freaking had one. I will
Hello,
not
Dwayne.
get over it either. So I'm like, I've had to make peace with the fact that I'll probably never own that one a second time.
Now, see, Friday music, and it's not just monkey stuff; it's other things. Friday music, it's sketchy at times. Okay,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm
You
not
got a
trying
great
to
example
insult.
of that.
Yeah.
Got a great example
Well,
of that.
she
Missing
does.
Links. Missing Links Volume 2.
Live streams before, actually.
Missing Links Volume 2, when it came out on Record Store Day, because they had the Volume 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Right, the only one I bought was 2. And it was so low. Just like you got to crank your stereo up. Like,
See, that sucks.
To hear it. That was
Now, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Lisa, I got Volume 2 and Volume 3 of Missing Link, but I got them in a trade, so I didn't have to fork over anything. But I'm like, I got to admit, I don't think I played them all the way through. So I have not had a chance to listen.
Definitely do that, because some of my favorite Monkees things are on the Missing Links album.
Oh, no. I had them on CD originally, so I know what's on there.
All the TV versions of all the songs. That's what I wanted it for.
Yeah.
Same here, Lisa.
I was at the mercy of, this was before I could just easily shop online back in the early 2000s. So I was at the mercy of whatever our local record store had. And the Missing Links albums were some of the very first Monkees things I ever came into acquisition of, which I feel like is a very rare order to like go into them by. But
though I do enjoy apples, peaches, bananas, and pears.
Yes.
I do too.
Yep, and all the King's horses.
Song.
But you know when I grabbed that Volume 1 on vinyl back in '87, I was just like, I heard a snippet of All of Your Toys. I never heard the whole thing, and I'm like, and I just was like having one of those moments because I'm like, I finally can hear the whole damn thing. But yeah, so it's a.
Remember when Rhino, or not Rhino, what am I saying?
Gave a shit? When Rhino gave a shit?
Yes, I do remember that. I miss those days dearly.
No, when VH1 put out Daydream Believers.
Oh, I hated that. They made it so happy.
They finally showed that. No, but they showed them supposedly in the studio cutting one of your All Your Toys. And Mickey's vocal at the end of it as a fade out. You know, where he's like almost like screaming the lyrics. That's fantastic.
Yes.
It's like, where is that version?
I have no idea what to that version, but yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, that's not the one you get. That was one of the also first Monkees things, because I didn't realize it wasn't really them when I bought it. So imagine my surprise popping that in the DVD player first time and, what the hell is this? What the hell is this?
Was Mike actually pissed off that much? God.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, you're making money.
I think the best part of that DVD, though, is in the special editions, or not special edition, the special features, the audio commentary tracks with Davey, Mickey, and Peter. But Davey's is by far the best, especially how salty he is that they point blank asked him to play his own dad in the movie.
Good
I'm
evening,
looking.
David. How are you?
Yes, hi, David.
Oh, very well. I'm having my Monkees educational minute.
Well, we're going to shift it for 2 seconds because also there was some news that came out a day or two ago that's going to definitely make Dave and Jeff maybe happy or at least kind of interested in one way or another.
Hey, I got something that David's gonna dig.
And so hang on a minute, because I am still here and you could see me, but I'm actually on the page for the band that I was going to talk about for 2 seconds.
Okay.
So coming soon, although like I said, it makes me nervous. Sweet has a new album coming out called Isolation Boulevard.
Stop wearing that blonde wig. Please stop.
And of course it's Andy's version, and for you, David, the closest August 4th, Blackpool. They'll be in Blackpool if you want to go torture in Blackpool. After that, it's a shit ton in Germany, and then they go Australia towards the back end of the year. So Isolation Boulevard.
That Isolation Boulevard thing came out just after COVID, really, because I think that's when they recorded it. You know, they were sending stuff to and from each other and that. And I don't know, it's just Andy Scott is definitely a guitar hero of mine, but I just think he should have somehow, I don't know, I don't think that he's never really had a brilliant lineup of Sweet since Mick Tucker went. You know, when
that's been what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, Bodo Scholf is a fantastic drummer, but he's just your atypical big heavy metal guy that's now approaching 60 sort of thing, and what have you. And it's kind of like, it's just, I don't know. I think he should have, surrounded himself by people who are inspired by Sweet. Like, and I know people are thinking, you mean you, don't you? But yeah, I mean, someone like myself would have been cool. I would have thought, because I absolutely love that band. But at the time, if there was a time, I'd have been, I don't know, sort of a bit younger, and I don't know. I think I've seen other artists do that, where they just want a bit of an injection of, somebody who's not done it for a while or done it as much as they have, and they don't get jaded that way. But I think the current day Sweet just looks like Andy Scott and three guys that used to be Sweet roadies, but they actually played. You know what I mean?
There's probably a lot of bands like that.
Desolation Boulevard is one of my favorite albums of all time.
That's one of my favorite albums of all time.
I've got multiple copies of it, and I really like the Jam album that you held up there. That's
In the City. Oh my gosh!
And of course, produced by Chris Parry, who produced quite a few cool things around that time. But Chris Parry then decided to make, through Polydor, but he made his own label called Fiction Records, and his first band signed to them was The Cure.
Really?
And Fiction, I think Chris Parry signed 3 or 4 other bands like the Associates and the Chords and Purple Hearts, but The Cure just like aced everything. So eventually Fiction just became The Cure's label. And I remember going to their office once, and it was just, I remember thinking, God, it must be brilliant to be in a band that's big enough to have, like a receptionist sat there, and not a receptionist. I mean, it's just like an office, but just pictures of your band on the wall and stuff like that. It must have been just really cool to have your own place. It's like when I was doing the Stereophonics stuff. I don't know whether you know Stereophonics or not, but
heard the name.
They've got a place that's like in London, that's next to a dentist, and it looks like it probably was, another dentist. It looks like an ordinary house, and it's just that the windows are whitewashed, and but basically you open the door, and first thing is reception, where their PR woman, their assistant works. And you go through, there's a living room, lounge with record player and everything. Then you go through again, there's a loo on the right hand side if you need the bathroom. You carry on through, there's the mixing desk room, the control room. And then you go down some stairs, and they've got all their gear just set out, ready to go. If Kelly Jones, if he wakes up in the middle of the night with a song, he has been known to ring everyone up and go, can everyone make it down to the, the thing? But it means as long as everyone gets there,
nice.
everything pretty much comes on with a button. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, let's just get this down and stuff. And I always thought what a dream, what a wonderful thing to do. But they earned it. You know, I'm not saying they didn't earn it.
So James is asking, can you please tell us about the blonde singer in your group?
I certainly can.
Very beautiful woman too. That makes a great voice.
She is. She's a lot of fun as well. She's her name's Denise Wise, and I'd like to. She's doing a lot of the interviews at the moment and what have you. So she is on Facebook. If you, and she'd be quite happy. Peaceful Cacophony has a Facebook as well. So
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I'll have to follow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pictures of her on that and what have you. And but yeah, she came to Norwich. I think about sort of 10 years ago. But what it was during COVID. A friend of mine had a birthday and said, "Well, I can't have a proper party, but do you want to come round and we're going to everyone's going to sit 6 feet apart in the garden?" And so I went there and stuff, and Denise was a friend of hers and what have you, and was there. And so from a distance, we started talking about music and what have you. And she was saying that you know, she used to sing, but she hadn't sung for ages and ages. And then she went into the industry side. She used to work for BMI. And she worked for Universal Music, and she just decided, she just said, I've been writing lyrics and stuff. And I sort of, you know, I went, yeah, well, I wouldn't mind doing some things, you know, for fun rather than money. Do you know what I mean? You know, I'd like to do something, because there is a difference, you know. I love what I do, but it is a job. And if I'm playing for someone who's got hits and what have you, I better get that song exactly right. But with me and Denise, we started writing together. And we started just, you know, she was someone who could just sit there mumbling her lyrics and giving us a tune. And I'd sit there with a guitar. And by the time she'd got round it about 3 times, we were there. We kind of got it. And then, of course, with me having a studio, I could go up there. Sorry, I'm still not telling you about Denise. Well, Denise is a fascinating character because she escaped, as she calls it. She escaped the Jehovah's Witnesses at the age of 33. Okay. She did not like it at all, but she was brought up in it, and as a result, that's the reason I'm recommending her Facebook, because she put the story. She did a massive interview the other day, and the guy was nice enough to play all 4 of our singles during the interview.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
But she talks about her escape and how she had to leave her daughter behind for a while, which must have been absolutely a really young daughter as well. And she was shunned, of course, because that's what they do in that religion. She was shunned.
I didn't know that religion was like Scientology. Wow.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I never knew it. I never knew about it. I honestly thought the most annoying thing about them was that they knocked on your door. I really had no idea. But there's some heavy shit going down. You know, there was me thinking they'd just interrupted me, sat down to eat Sunday lunch, and that's nothing.
Sunday morning, yeah.
Oh, horrific. And they're
like, you be in church?
Sorry?
Just like they bother you on a Sunday morning. It's just like, shouldn't you be in church?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
I have an answer for that. You know,
but the interesting stuff that a lot of people were like, I mean, when she got out, she went wild. She went.
I'm sure.
and I'm sure James Farley will agree with me that, like, you can imagine if this is what she looks like now. Imagine her at like the age of 33. She must have been absolutely just, you know, car crash beautiful, you know.
Like back in our day, you always wanted to date a girl from the Catholic school.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All that
guilt. I came from one. So.
All that guilt built up and stuff. But yeah, Denise is fascinating, and she's really. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what her age is, but I can't believe that, you know, at the age that she was, she just suddenly said, you know what, I've never actually been in a proper studio and done proper songs. I want to make an album. And that was one of the reasons that I just said, well, do it with me then, because I just thought, what an amazing attitude that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't suppose you can play stuff that we could watch off YouTube on your channel, could you?
It could possibly get me into other hot water. I'm not.
Well,
really
even if
into
it's
it.
one of mine.
I'm not sure, sir. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I'm not
Well,
going to lie.
do it with the sounds, Dan. I just want you to have a look because I know she doesn't mind, but I just want if you can find Peaceful
Let me
Cacophony
see.
and then put in the Set Me Free video.
Let me see. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't quite know how to also do that either.
It's okay. Let me see if I can get it decently on my phone.
But yeah, I will do this if I can. Let's see here. So, which Peaceful do you want me to?
It's Set Me Free is the song.
Okay. So,
and it's not that I want you to listen to it. It's just that I want you to see Denise in the video, and then.
Let's see.
Sorry, anybody watching that's bored of.
No, okay, so let's see. See, I'm just trying to figure out how you put a video into my thing. That didn't sound right, but I know
No, it didn't.
It didn't
Take
sound
that
good.
back.
I actually don't know the answer to that. I haven't.
I also don't want to see any video of you putting anything into your thing.
Yeah,
No,
neither do I. But let me see if I can.
Other corner of the internet.
Let me see. No,
all
I
have
don't
to
care
say about that.
Yeah, let's see here a minute. And I'll do this at least, and stick that
Where?
there.
Did you find it?
That's what she said.
Oh. We had our honeymoon at the Is It Inn.
I'm typing here, so
let me just see. Can you see? Oh, you can see that, can't you? You can see that if I just play that.
Sure, give me a second because now I'm putting that up so that people can go and watch it. So you know what, David?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay, this is just check this lady out.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, so anyone that enjoyed that, it's all right, you can put me back in the panel now. Anyone who enjoyed that, don't make me solo.
Sorry, David, I had to step away for a minute.
And sometimes it takes a second. So,
anyways,
she's a very attractive woman.
He said he went away for a minute. Very suspicious, Paul.
I don't want to be.
No, she is a very beautiful woman, though. I saw. I'm trying to remember. Dang it, which video I did see. There. It looked like you guys were out and about, like near a lake or something, or whatever. There was a combination of things, and you were in a garden playing the guitar. It seemed like.
Yeah. She was in a graveyard. She was in a graveyard.
Yeah.
I was in the beach.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, basically, she won't mind. But she's 61.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I know.
Damn.
Fooled me.
Porn, I look like this.
That's what really impressed me when she said, "I want to make it
out." Most, maybe early 50s.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking truthfully late 40s or hovering around 50.
Yeah,
to be honest.
somewhere in there. That's why I said top end, but I would guess probably somewhere lower than that too.
I promise you, that's not makeup or soft lenses, because you can see mine next to her, and you can see I look like me, unfortunately, but next to her. But yeah, I just loved the idea that someone at that time just thought, I want to make a rock album, and I just thought, let's just fucking do it then. And I did on the other end of the scale. I did the same thing with Sasha Luffman, who ended up playing some really cool festivals and all something. She was 16 when we met. She's just 16 as well. She's gone from 15 to 16. And she just came up to me and said, I've got some lyrics for a song, but I can't play anything. Will you help me? And I went, yeah, okay, I'll help you. I thought that's got some pluck. And then we did this song. It's awesome. And we ended up doing a 6-track EP, and that came out. She played, we played Vowood Festival. We went on first, but on the Friday, but it was like her first gig was in front of 800 people.
Yeah, what a first gig.
Yeah, but it's just because I love people who've just got that thing of going, I want to have a go, you know.
I wonder.
Hmm.
Truthfully,
Do you want
Yeah.
to make
oh
an
God,
album?
David's gonna roll his eyes when I tell him this. I have a notebook with lyrics because I can't play a lick of music, but I
Yeah.
could do a construct of a song.
Mm.
You know, first verse, chorus, and I've been able to do that on and off since high school. And I'm just like, some of them I'm proud of. Others, I'm like, I threw them in the garbage.
Yeah, I don't
That's
have that skill
dreadful.
set at all. So, I mean, even at that level, that's still better than me. So, yeah, my respect.
Yeah, it's
Nope, I wrote lyrics. I never wrote music.
I don't think I heard that spoon solo on Room to Move with John Mayall. I may have to hear it now. Hey, how's it going?
Do you know, when I was waiting to come up here, I was thinking, can I a panel question? Because I was listening to what you were talking about, and I was thinking of the things you often talk about, and somehow my train of thought led to the Beach Boys for some reason. I thought I still haven't been able to manage to get one of the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds that's in the green and yellow split vinyl. It sold out before I could get it, and I just thought that's brilliant because the sleeve is very green with yellow tie, and I just that my train of thought there then went to, do any of you have weird collecting habits? Like, even if you've got the album as an original, if you buy an album and it's got a very prominent color and you think on sleeve and you think surely there's got to be a something color vinyl of that. I'll give you two examples that I tracked down, and I'm so chuffed with them. David Bowie Low had to be on orange, didn't it? With the orange RCA label, though, none of this reissue shit. And I've got that as well. I've got the, and Kraftwerk Autobahn, the blue cover with just the two lines. I have a blue vinyl with the Vertigo Swirl label. Yes, it's a counterfeit, but I love it.
Doesn't matter as long as you're
I
happy.
love it.
That's what
I love
matters.
it. And there's so many. I've got a Sparks album that's mainly red on the front. I thought this better be in red vinyl. It is. And then I started replacing, well, not replacing, but adding on to thing. I decided that I'd start thinking of albums that must have. So I looked for Queen, News of the World. There's got to be a green one. Got to be a green one. Bingo. French one. 1978.
All right.
I got that one at Walmart. I got that
did
one.
You?
Walmart for $10.
Wow.
They're getting rid of all their vinyl.
Yeah, and so it just and it continues. Obviously, I wanted to get a white album.
Yeah,
a white
That
album.
doesn't translate well. Check this out.
Let's see.
Nice. Is that
Oh.
Is that
No,
Destroyer or
Love
Love Gun? Love Gun, right?
Oh, nice. I like that. $10. That was a steal.
That's a cracker. That is. Probably
Oh,
You see, we don't have Walmart over here. That's the problem. If I
got ASDA, is it ASDA?
Yeah.
But
they don't do records, and
oh
they
wow.
Are there any in your head? Do you think
albums with colors or just things like that?
Well, you're just things that you think would be, but classic albums that if there's a Pink Fairies album, is there a pink vinyl version? That's always been my.
I've looked for stuff like this before.
Yeah, like Queen Night at the Opera. I found a white one. Of course, there's a white one. It's great.
I know. I got Queen the Game. I bought that at Walmart with the Mylar cover.
We do this, but it's also turned. It's also turned into a game of trying to collect every different color vinyl at least once over. Not by necessarily a specific artist, just that's a color I don't have yet. I need one of those.
Excellent. I like that. I mean, it's a real shame that Glow in the Dark sounds so awful. And even a record pressing plant will warn you, because I looked at maybe doing my singling, and he said you can, but he said, I warn you now, it won't sound great. And we always have to warn people, if you want it as a little gimmick, that's great, but luminous vinyl, it's something in the pellets that they use that
at least he was honest with you about it.
He said it's not a great pressing. And to be honest, I've got Kraftwerk neon lights, sorry. I've got the 12-inch glow in the dark of that. And
David, you're gonna love this one.
Marina and the Diamonds, I've got a single by them, and and the wonderfully named Pussy Riot.
Yeah, hey, I got this
Remember
one for
Pussy
$10
Riot.
too.
Go on, let's have a look. Oh, nice.
Half Speed Master.
Wow. In that case,
in
I
blue.
feel, in that case, I feel duty bound to show you this. I was giving this a spin today, the Eric Carr Record Store Day.
Yes.
But yeah, if I can just hold your attention for one more moment.
Yep.
Yep.
Light
his eyes
about
light
it.
up.
I love that.
How awesome is that?
I went on a couple indie store record
He was the
sites, and
nicest
all of them were
guy.
damn sold out. I'm like, shit. So I don't know.
He was
It's
the
on my
nicest
want
guy.
list, my never-ending want list.
Fantastic, though.
Yep.
I'm glad they did that. It's nice for him to get.
Toys R Us does. They sell records.
Toys R Us is that?
Really?
It'd be funny if it was just kid records.
Does that guy just look incredibly like Kevin Smith, or has he used a Kevin Smith?
Well, he does kind of look like Kevin Smith. I don't care. I like Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
See, Lord knows around this show, I would sit in the dark with that Eric Carr album. You betcha.
Oh,
Sex
yeah.
Pistols, Never Mind the Bullet, reissue Yellow Vinyl with a rubber glove.
They're really well done. They're counterfeits, but they've done every color under the sun. I mean, I would.
Yep.
I wouldn't like to try and
I
collect
got a
them all.
Beatles yesterday and today like that with a bunch
Yeah.
of
Nice.
covers. It has the original Capitol label on it, and it's in mono.
How do you guys feel about who the heck is
a
Kevin?
very good comic
He's
actor
brilliant.
director.
He's a phenomenal comedic filmmaker,
Yep.
and it's always really funny films, but with a really quite touching thing running through it as a rule, and maybe a little
Clerks,
lesson.
Dogma.
Yeah,
What the hell's that other one I'm thinking?
Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob.
He is
But,
Silent Bob.
little man, put that shit in my hand.
You know what's funny?
It doesn't show you.
Oh, Jungle Love.
Oh God. So true story. Before Ethan was like, he was a little baby, and even I must have said this while he was still in the womb, but I remember that he had tubes and wires because he had a rough birth. Okay. And I come on in there to visit him. He's never met me yet. But all I said was, little man, put that money in my hand. And would you believe he damn woke up? Because he's like, and I'm like, I was just taken aback. I'm like, oh my God. I said, this was like one of those weird Kodak moments because I did not expect that he would be like that just because I was being silly. Yeah. And he's been like that since, as you guys all know. I don't mean to derail. I will still stay on everything, but I have to tell you something. My son is thinking about, now I didn't know this until yesterday or today. Dead Mouse is coming to Bentonville, the next town over. And Ethan, my 6-year-old grandson, happens to like Dead Mouse. And so John is considering taking Ethan to all ages. But I'm like, oh my God, that would be funny because you've seen him dance. He's like, oh my God, that'd be too funny. At least I think so anyway. Oh yeah, look at I wish he said.
First concert, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that would be actually. So before I forget, because I feel like a moron, we've almost gone into an hour here.
Really?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make myself big for a few minutes here. Why? Because I did that about 10 minutes before I come on here. Anyway,
it's been all coffee.
Yes, it almost looked like the PU pinch loaf splatter vinyl of Royal Flush. David will explain in a little bit what PU pinch loaf is. So the title today of the video is Surfer's Choice of Girls with Guns in Purgatory. I'm telling you, I just come up with the weird ass shit.
It drips off the tongue nicely.
So what is it? Hang on a minute. Hopefully he doesn't get a that guy, the little guy. Yeah, no kidding, right? It's your show. That's why, damn it. So, Surfer's Choice. I really wish that I don't know Mike has gone. You know, MJ Fox. I don't know where he used to be up here and guess really good. Hopefully, I didn't piss him off. So,
Did you
Surfer's
say Michael
Choice,
J. Fox?
huh?
Did you say Michael J. Fox came on here?
No,
MJ Fox. I think he calls himself MJ Fox
Oh,
or
right.
something
No,
like that.
Oh,
Michael,
okay, that's what I was like, wait, what happened?
because his name is Michael. That's why, you know, and he's
Okay,
pretty good
okay.
at guessing these things.
Okay.
Now, I showed on the previous show an album that I acquired at that assessment of the vinyl that they wanted to sell. So I found this though, and this was the thing that made me go, ooh, or things that make you go, hmm. So this is an OG from 1962, first album on Deltone, Dick Dale and the Deltone Surfer's Choice. And I do like me some surf music, I'll tell you that. I mean, Mr. Miserloo himself, and it was, I guess, attached to Capitol in one way or another, but this is what the label looks like. It is really nice and clean, okay? And so when I found this in there, I was like, oh, yes, please. So we go from Surfer's Choice. Anybody want to take a guess? Girls with Guns.
Aerosmith, Janie's Got a Gun?
That would be nice, but no.
Okay.
So 1984, one of my favorite 70s bands breaks up for about a good 6 years.
Oh.
But while in 1984, several of the band members decided, yeah, damn it, Dad. You're too good. You're too good at this too. Yeah, fuck it. Here it is. Here it is. There's Girls with Guns. But now here's the thing, though, that throws me for a loop. Okay, look at. So by 84, and I'll show you. Here's your band. Now, who's in this band? Steve Holly. Yeah, you have a Beatle Wing connection because Steve Holly gets out of Wings in 81, does some sessioning, and then lands with Tommy. Go figure. And then you've got Peter Wood. Yeah, and Peter Wood over here worked with Al Stewart. I love Al Stewart. I think he's great. And I didn't know this.
That sounds like a porn name.
Right.
Peter Wood. I mean,
yeah. Peter Wood. And I didn't know
That's
this.
me doing that.
But of course, when Roger Waters fired Rick Wright for the Wall tour, Peter Wood was the keyboard player for the whole Wall tour. I'm told.
Okay.
Or he did auxiliary keyboards. But needless to say, he was on that tour too. And so this, yeah, you got this, you got that. Now here's the thing that kind of made me go, again. Now I know you're saying to yourself, well, jackass, that's the A&M label. But here's the thing. This is 1984. All right. And I was thinking one of two things. Either A, it should have been a custom label, or B, if I remember correctly.
It should have been the right label.
Correct. So I don't understand unless, I mean, it's not flimsy like an import, okay, unless it's a Canadian thing. And I can't figure that out. But still, so the last part in Purgatory. So I mentioned that Saturday I'll be going to the Forest State Record Show in Carthage, Missouri. It's mostly sold out. I am told they only got 10 tables left. But one of my new favorite vinyl sellers is also a musician. A good musician and one in a really cool band. See, I would have loved to have seen
So
it.
who is it?
And so John Humphrey. Now I know you're like, who the fuck's John Humphrey? John Humphrey. It was there in March, and he did very, very well, I guess, because he's returning on Saturday. He is the drummer for Seether ever since the second album on. And so what do we have here? The Purgatory EP from 2021. Here's the front, here's the back, and this is in a nice pretty much inner sleeve. Of course, you got the good old what looks like aliens, and then now I know you're not maybe going to tell this really well, but this is actually red and black. It's smoky vinyl,
It's
Nice,
kind of like
actually.
blood color.
And
love it.
and
It's
so
transparent as well. Transparent.
yes.
No?
And yeah, see, like, yeah, I
like
can
it.
literally see that. I can see through it. Yay. So that is Surfer's choice of girls with guns in Purgatory.
Well, two things. I'm going to jump in with two things. A,
Yes.
that guy in Seether is a massive Kiss fan. I mean, insane Kiss fan.
Mhm. We
there's a
talked
YouTube-
Kiss.
there's-
Yes.
Who
there's
isn't
a
a Kiss fan?
but there's a YouTube thing that I watch a lot called Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax, and they go into the albums and stuff like that.
Yep.
John Five's on there a lot because he's a huge collector as
I
well.
love John Five. I do.
Yeah,
Seriously.
right.
It's
But
just
John
too bad he's in Motley.
But
don't
John
understand.
Humphreys is on there a lot with his 18 copies of the Alive album and stuff.
Damn.
So that was
Yep.
crazy.
so that
He
was
has
one.
I'm glad you told us that because I
did.
didn't know. So Kiss My Wax, nice.
And the other thing is, from your title, the Surface choice of I was convinced it was going to be the Cramps Bikini Girls with Machine Guns.
See, I don't have any cramps.
Oh,
I guess I wouldn't because I'm a guy, but I don't have any cramps in my collection whatsoever. I've been trying to look for it, but I haven't been that lucky.
yeah. No, I thought that was the one. I have that particular track on a 12-inch single.
No, Dan, and I didn't know that there was a 10-year of A&M Inner record label. You got me on that one. I've only ever seen the regular 1976. And okay, like I said, I love Styx, but Crystal Ball is not really my favorite in the what I call the Tommy Shaw era. I mean, I like a couple songs, but I'm like, how did this end up being so? I know. I went from I went from Equinox, which I love that damn album. The last one from the OG lineup to I like Grand Illusion. Pieces of Eight's okay. I'd rather have that than Cornerstone. To me, I thought Cornerstone was maybe even weaker than Crystal Ball, to tell you the truth. But
is it Paradise Theatre that's got the laser etch?
Yes,
laser etching thing, like the
yes.
like the Split Ends album, True Colors.
I love that album. I love Split Ends. Thanks to MTV. I did not know anything about them until MTV came out, and I was like, of course, I Got You. I love that one, but History Never Repeats. Dirty Creatures. I love Dirty Creatures. I'm like, I get in the do. I mean, I'm just like, I like them. And then of course, Crowded House from split off from that. And we could go even weirder.
One Step Ahead.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. One Step Ahead. That's another one too. Nice.
Great tune.
And then of course, Chef Paul from the Wiggles was the drummer.
We should answer Needle to Groove. You've probably been over this already, but what is Beetle Babe making? She's making a anatomically correct portrait of myself in needlepoint.
That's exactly it.
Hey.
That's right. David will get the point on this one after she is gone.
Dimensions have been taken, and
photographs have been sent like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, this is how we can all get away with stupid shit like this on this show because we just.
Well, I think you can guess at my almost Schwarzenegger-esque frame.
I knew Jen would laugh. I knew it.
Get in the job.
I'm still almost choking.
I've got round 3 of the dentistry on Friday.
Oh my!
Maybe them like all close together for yours.
Yeah, so far so good.
When I get it done, you can see I'm missing there, but yeah, I'm getting there. But they've got to heal up before they can screw the real ones
in.
So I'm going to look at
my implants done. They made me wait. I forget. I think it was like 2 or 3 months for it all to heal up enough to be able to actually place the screws and put.
He said it was going to be at least 2 months, so it's probably exactly the same.
That's about right.
But I'll be chuffed then, though, because I really just for years I've had a real confidence thing about my teeth. It's like I
definitely understand. I'm right in front.
I get why poor old AGK, had his meltdown about the people
Exactly.
taking the piss out of him.
That was why I had to comment to him over it, because I was like, I very much 100% feel that pain. I've lived it.
I felt for him as well, and I thought, well, people are just being nasty bastards, basically, because it's like it's not his fault, and it is. There are certain medicines, there's certain things that you get given, and they just crush your teeth.
Right.
And I mean, it's not even like weird medicines. Like my asthma medication is one of those. I mean, and that's a pretty common one too. So
there you go.
Yeah, twinsies.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Anyway, but it's been a miserable journey, but I'm really sort of feeling quite better that it's getting there, and I'll be able to grin to my heart's content. I'll be able to smile in videos and stuff when we record stuff.
Oh shit!
Very, very nice. I hope it all goes well.
Me too.
Well, if ever she, I was thinking about Denise and stuff like that. She'd probably love chatting on here, and so I mean, if she's ever here when you go,
cool.
That would be very nice. Tell her so, please.
Sometimes we do record through the night here, so that would be good. And another person who would be really good on here, I think, is Mayall from Choose Your Weapon, which is another band that I've got. And Michelle's amazing. But she collects the Doors, Woodstock, stuff like that. And yet she looks like a rock chick. She's got jet black hair, red lipstick, leather jacket, boobs have got their own zip code, and she's just awesome. She's just great, but she's a real passionate record collector, which I think as
we'd
we
love
all know,
to hear anything she's got to share.
I don't want to copyright infringe Rachel's ghost, but she's a real girl.
Who's gonna buy that new Monkees album, huh? Who's gonna do it?
Oh boy!
You're gonna spring for that. She sounds like Larry King.
But I said when I talked to Beatle Babe about this, didn't I? And I said that like in England, the majority we just ignored the Monkees because we just thought it was their rather lame attempt at the Beatles, and it was all seemed to be sort of pushed in and that. But then it's like as time's gone, nice one. But, I played drums for him.
Really?
I did. MySpace.
Yeah. If you go on my YouTube channel, look for the Adamant thing, and it's me sitting at the back.
When was that?
That was at Vowood Festival. That clip's from 2015, I think.
Oh, okay. I love Adamant's stuff. At least those first couple albums.
Yeah. He's really good. I've completely lost what I was talking about beforehand.
Sorry.
England didn't really take the Monkees seriously.
That's right. And yet, since I've been watching things like Rachel's Ghost and yourselves and what have you, I said to you, didn't I, when we were talking the other night? I said I'm gonna have to rethink this and listen to stuff. So what I meant to ask you, but I didn't ask you then, is like, where shall I start?
It depends. I mean, if you were a fan of the show, probably just the first self-titled album's a good place to start. But if you're not starting from that point, either Headquarters, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones, or I'm going to go out on a limb and say a weird one to throw out for a beginner, but the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw the film Head, and I thought I thought it was awesome.
Yay! Yes,
but I thought it was awesome because I didn't understand a thing about it, and it said like, was it written by Jack Nicholson?
It was basically the product of Nesmith and Nicholson going to a hotel room for a weekend, getting really, really stoned, and any idea that came into their heads, they wrote down.
Oh yeah,
and they made a movie of that.
Yeah, they don't hide it well. It's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, I'll have to check it out because so many people have said, yeah, but the songs are really good, and they're and I just think, I have to say, to my shame, I didn't really take it in. I thought they were a sort of joke band, or
I thought so too at first. Like I 100% did, and when I finally gave them a chance, I was like, I've been missing out all this time that I could have been enjoying them. Damn it!
But as I said last time I was on, I loved Mike Nesmith's Rio, and I've got that as a single. You know, it's really good.
Randy says, I love the Monkees, but the
Elephant
Beatles
Park,
fan,
definitely watch that.
yes, ruined it for me like they did the Beatles for me. Beatle fans like the Beatles, Monkees and Partridge Family. A little of the Partridge Family. I just a little bit. I
Yeah,
never
that's-
went
Got
all
all the
in.
albums.
Isn't that a bit? That's a bit of a bridge too far, isn't it?
Punch is
to get on
Aquarius,
board with the
Capricorn, and
Partridge
Lowry
Family.
seasoning salt.
Throw another log on the fire, why don't you?
Hey, Steve, how you doing? Great channel he's got too.
I liked David Cassidy's "Dreams Are Nothing More Than Wishes." That's a guilty pleasure. But it's my sister had it. You see, my sister had it, and it was on constantly, and I was trying to balance it in the next room with Sweet Fanny Adams or something like that. And,
See, I'm not knocking David Cassidy. Okay, obviously he had the Teen Idol thing years,
Right.
but what I liked about his interviews towards the end of Partridge Family, he was like, "Look," he goes, "I loved." That's the wrong answer. I loved, Zeppelin, Sabbath. I mean, he was, and I'm like going, okay, so this guy. So when he finally stepped away and got out of that, there's an album that he did with Mick Ronson. And I actually like that damn album. It's a hard to find damn album.
What album?
And then, oh God, I knew you were going to say, it's like 75, 76. That's when he did it.
Yeah.
And ended to top that off. And I didn't know this until I'm like, oh, well, it was either that album or the next album. Carl Wilson from the Beach Boys and Jerry Beckley from America. That ends up being some of his friends too. Well, then you fast forward, and I've said this at least once, and I love Asia, okay? But the Then and Now album, one of the 4 new songs is co-wrote by David Cassidy with John Wetton. And I'm like, and he talked about how he's known John for, I think it was close to a decade. And I'm like, I think David gets cool points. I really do. It's like, he was having more than a ball, ladies and gentlemen.
See, you brought up Mick Ronson, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to find that because I'm a big Mick Ronson fan. And obviously, as I've mentioned on here, I kind of know the family through being in Holy Holy, because Maggie Ronson, his sister, and Lisa Ronson, his niece, were our backing vocalists. So
no, but remember when you did the show with the 5 albums? One that I was going to show, but I didn't have it on vinyl. I only have it on the CD.
Right.
Was produced by Mick Ronson.
Rich Kids?
It's Morrissey's Your Arsenal.
Ah, yes.
What a great album that is. Man.
He was a great producer, He like I said, I just
that
blurted out the Rich Kids.
It's so rock and roll. It's fantastic.
1976 is Getting in the Street. I'm looking this up now, and it says, sadly, the album had a bit of tortured history. It was produced by Cassidy himself, with America's Jerry Beckley as co-producer, and included songs by Brian Wilson and Harry Nilsson. The record certainly isn't bad, and it's not, but I don't know where my damn copy is. Maybe I gave it to a friend. But
look it up on YouTube. You can hear it.
Yeah, it said RC. Oh, here's the thing, though. Here was the death knell. The album failed to chart, of course, in the U.S., and RCA only did significant distribution in Germany and Japan.
Wow.
So that's why. So Getting It in the Street.
I might have to mention this to Maggie or Lisa. I wonder if they've got a spare one.
Lost is a strange album, Dan, and I don't know what happened to my copy. Todd Rundgren produced it, of course. I wish I could go back in time, not that I was a musical expert, and go, why are you deciding to cover David Bowie's Rebel Rebel? Because it was not good. It was not good.
So did the Bay City Rollers on It's a Game.
I've heard that.
Not good.
All right, guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Bay City Rollers Rock and Roll Love Letter. I love that damn song. It's so catchy and pop. I'm just like, I like that better than SATUR.
Oh, that was annoying.
I'll only admit to Yesterday's Heroes, and I really like the track Wouldn't You Like It? Right, it's an amazing production. That listen to Wouldn't You Like It on the headphones.
Baby,
No,
in a past Jukebox from Hell episode, which, by the way, I'm deciding to push it to August for the new season. But I went and reviewed 1978 Strangers in the Wind album about earlier last year. And I'm just like, this isn't really a bad album. I was surprised. I wanted to get the there was like one album they only released in Japan. I want that one.
I've got Live in Japan because I really like that. 'Cause it's really raw because they weren't great musicians, but there's something about it. I bought it as a present for my sister, and then I really liked it, so I bought another one and gave her that.
Now, Stephen here says, I'd like to see the call sheet for the Monkees audition for the TV show. And I would too, but let me tell you something. I don't know what happened to it. I think when I moved, it disappeared. In the Monkee VHS box set, okay, there was a little book that came with it. Yeah. And there was like an inlay, and it showed some of the people that auditioned. All right. And yes, Steven Stills was there. No, Manson wasn't there. But this
admitted that was a lie before the end.
This one cracked me up though. So Mickey Rooney Jr., I'm like, really? You thought you were gonna get? There was another one that surprised me on that damn list, and I'm going, really? I'm like, no, I am so glad it was what it was.
Oh my God, that would have been horrible. Especially if he were going for the Mickey role, which he would have been. Oh.
Do you know what? Do you not think it's strange, actually? I just thought of something. Sorry, I've got a train of thought going on here, and it's usually like 5 minutes ago, and then I've remembered, hey, it's the real Dave.
Hey, sorry, I didn't see it till now.
No problem.
Well, I was just thinking, is it not weird that like David Cassidy and Barry Manilow had massive hits with the song "I Write the Songs" and neither of them did?
See, that's good. That's good.
That is a pretty good show.
I mean, in Albuquerque.
But yeah, I can't remember who did, but it's
wow.
Yeah, but it isn't either of those two.
Barry was the one that wrote that.
In a way, it's a miracle, a true blue spectacle. Remember, the miracle is you. Yes. I love that song. That's my favorite, man, because that's the only one I can put up with. I can't stand the rest because the radio stations down here, they play Copacabana, Can't Smile Without You, Mandy, and there's another one. Damn it, help me out here. What was another big one?
Looks like we made it. Ships.
Triangle.
No, not looks like we made it.
Trying to think of ones that would have made it onto the radio though.
Well, top 20 hits. So
I don't know. Whatever. It's not important.
I'll tell you what did surprise me though: the film Copacabana with him in it.
I didn't know that.
Never saw it.
It was on BBC on a Sunday afternoon or something. I thought, and I was that bored. I thought, I just watch this and that. It was really good. It's like, he plays the part of a piano player in a bar and stuff like that. But it's like it's a proper sort of, it's quite a thriller. Do you know what I mean? It's like there were bits in the end. I'll tell you why I thought it was good. I forgot it was Barry Manilow.
See, that's pretty damn good when you can do that.
Really good. And I did think at the end of it, it's like, how am I going to explain to any of my friends that was actually quite good? Hey, guess what film I saw on Sunday?
Oh, boy.
No, really.
All right, here comes some confession. Oh, God. So Sunday, too, up in Chicagoland, there always was Sunday movie time. So one time, once again, I don't know why I was bored on a Sunday afternoon. I should have just been out and played. That would have been a lot easier than all the time I wasted in my life watching these two movies. The first one I remember, oh boy, Channel 44, Chicago. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 1978. I'm like, no. I said this. The only part I liked was the Aerosmith sequence. I'm like, And then the second one was to me, in my opinion, is even worse. I know that's almost like, what? 1980. Oh, God, no. Can't Stop the Music with Village People and Valerie Perrin. Why am I watching this?
That's worse.
Why am I watching this?
Yeah, I go for the Sergeant. I mean, I've got the Sgt. Pepper on DVD. Again, this is something that me and Beetle Babe have discussed in the past.
Hey, I had it, but I cut it on fire.
Contract.
But yeah, I couldn't sit through can't swallow it. I mean, I've never seen Thank God It's Friday, but is that as bad, do you think? I mean, it's got Donna Summer in it, so could it be that bad?
That's the only value, really.
But I mean, Village People and
I always liked Donna Summer.
Yeah.
I did.
Poor old Donna Summer.
Isn't it weird that Casablanca basically was funded by Kiss initially? It was like everything was funded by Kiss because they were the biggest. So with the money, they decided to go for Donna Summer, Village People. Who else is on Casablanca that's just weird that you'd think, and like no one else like Kiss really.
Four Tops.
Oh, Angel, yeah, I suppose.
Dr. Hook, Angel.
The Best of Johnny Carson.
Right. Oh, God, I've got that double LP signed by Ed McMahon.
Robin Williams live album.
Was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a Robin
Hudson
Williams.
Brothers did one for
There's a Robin Williams live album.
Hudson Brothers?
Which one? Life What a Concept?
I don't know what album, but I know they had a single. Hudson Brothers, Casablanca.
Saint Esmeralda. I think that was another one.
You misunderstood.
David London.
Santa Esmeralda.
The Dr. Pepper guy.
David Naughton.
Making It by David Naughton, yeah.
Yeah. But he also went under David London, I guess. I didn't know that because he's on that Can't Stop the Music soundtrack.
Samantha. That's on Can't Stop the Music.
The movie Cotton Candy, made for TV about competing bands, even the villainous heel group that had. You know what? Where's my damn pen? I got homework.
That movie. Oh my God.
I got homework.
I've never heard of that one.
Let's see. Somebody asked me something for other homework.
The band that was the villain band kept on doing I Shot the Sheriff.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, my God.
Like we really need to hear that.
Oh, my God, I hate that fucking
Because
song.
they have to prove that they're so bad that they shot the sheriff.
Stop it.
Jeez.
Hey, I got a guilty pleasure, too. Grease 2 is like my fave.
Oh, Grease, that movie.
Yes, it is.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That was another Sunday film. I'm like sitting here going, what
Watching
the
myself
fuck?
from the top of a ladder saying Cool Rider.
Okay, on the similar lines, I've seen Rocky Horror enough times for me never to watch it again and stuff. I absolutely love Shock
When
Treatment.
you see it at a theater with everybody dressed up and throwing toast, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I still have yet to have the live experience with it.
I have, yeah, but I mean, what I absolutely love though is the flop, which was the follow up, Shock Treatment.
I'm writing that too. I don't never heard
I
of it.
did not know there was a follow-up.
It's basically Brad and Janet go off to watch a TV show being made, and it's like a quiz show and stuff, and they get pulled out of the audience, and it's but it's fantastic. There's like a really young Rick Mayall in it, which is good for us, you know. It's,
I enjoyed it.
In terms of the previous cast, Richard O'Brien is the main man. Barry Humphries is in it. Ruby Wax is in it. Patricia Quinn, who was in the other one, but as someone, and Riff Raff and stuff like that. So, Little Nell, of course, Little Nell's in it.
Oh, good.
But yeah, give Shock
her.
Treatment a go, because I think people thought it was going to be a follow-up to Rocky Horror, and it started life like that. Because I love it so much, I've read loads of stuff about it as well as watched it a million times. I think the songs are fantastic. They're a bit more rock and a bit more chunky, a bit more rock, you know. But yeah,
Clint Howard, son of a bitch. I don't know if I want to see it now. Did anybody like the movie Almost Famous?
Yeah,
I liked it.
I've never seen it.
It's a good recommendation, guys. Psycho and the Gang are recommending it. Okay. Pearl or Cheap Thrills for Janice, if you had to pick one.
Pearl.
Uh-huh.
I love
that. I would have to say, honestly, Pearl, but there is parts of Cheap Thrills I do like.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't saying one's good and one's bad. I'm just, he asked if you had to pick one. Pearl's what I'd pick. I wouldn't be happy about it.
Right. And she's still imagining David Crosby in the Monkees. Stephen Stills. That one would have been a weird choice.
Stills, it wasn't, no.
Yeah, Clint. And I've seen it, Randy.
Debbie Does Dallas is
I
an
like the
absolute
sequel.
classic.
Debbie
It's
Does
a
Dishes.
classic.
Debbie does dishes.
That was a better one.
Debbie gets pregnant with 18 kids and does dishes.
Oh, no.
Good one, Paul.
Oh,
Okay, since we mentioned Almost Famous, we have to mention That Thing You Do.
Yes.
yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what a fantastic movie about being in a band.
yeah.
No
Does
kidding.
anybody know
Where the
does
cymbals fall over when they're playing and stuff. I've
Yeah,
been through all that shit.
yeah.
I need to see that.
Does anybody know if the sort of main backstory of it is based on a factual thing where someone came up with a slow song and then they played it too fast and said, "Hold on a minute, that's much better."
Boy.
That's what
Oh my
happens
God,
in the
that was
film,
like
isn't it?
that was like my band in there in 1987.
Yeah,
Everything we played was ultimately fast.
yeah. But I was just wondering, whether, I don't know, back in the USSR, say, whether the story was like initially it was an acoustic thing that was very laid back and what have you, and then they said, no, why don't you play it twice the speed, and it came into that.
We probably have to Google it to find out.
Yeah. Because it's a good idea. I think it's a really interesting. I mean, I know
all of my own dreams.
yeah, I know when because I was kind of around at that point, but I know when Robert Smith was having a bit of a sort of writer's block at one point, he picked one of his old songs and just sort of put the chords backwards, played the song backwards, and came up with a new Cure song for the next album.
Wow.
So it was a track off the first album, and like sort of, this is obviously
That's
10 years
like,
later, and he just thought, oh, and he got an idea for a new song by listening to this old song backwards.
That's kind of like the Beatles. When
true.
John wrote the
That's
Cars.
right.
Dan.
Beatles and what the hell was it?
What was Yoko playing on the piano? I think it was Bach or something.
I don't know.
And so he just took those chords and he put them backwards.
Wow.
There's Because. I'm like, man.
Right.
I just remember hearing a goofy single from Ohio Express and Napoleon the 14th. They did the same thing. They did the B-sides they were backwards.
Yeah.
Paul, I was going to ask you because you mentioned Shake all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I've got the same version of that song by the Ohio Express that has the same backing as the one that you always talk about.
Yes.
What band is that by?
Shadows of Night.
Shadows of Night.
Yeah.
But see, I've got the version from Ohio Express. The only thing that's different is the vocals.
And that's what makes me wonder now that you said that, because I heard that Super K and Buddha and everything, Super K used to do that all the time with all the other bands too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think we're all glad the Ramones never sang ballads.
I'd ask him that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I ever watched Rock and Roll High School.
I've seen that movie.
I love that movie. Are you kidding me?
I need to. Homework. Oh my God.
No pizza for you, Joey.
That's fantastic. And I must say, I didn't think it was going to be good, but have you heard Kiss's cover of Rock and Roll Radio? Do you remember Rock and Roll Radio?
That's the one off the Ramones tribute album.
The Family or something in the Family. I thought it was going to be awful, but it really stomps, doesn't it? It really
does. I liked it.
Yes.
I thought it was really good. It's basically only Paul Stanley, isn't it? Really, or
no,
if you know what I mean. I don't think Kiss were on it. I think
on the Paul McCartney one, it wasn't.
Oh my.
What is it? The Art of McCartney.
They did Venus and Mars, didn't they?
They do Venus and Mars and Rock Show.
That's it. Rock
Show.
It
was only Gene and Paul on that, and it was Paul's band from today.
Yeah. But yeah, that version of the Ramones, it's one of those nerve-wracking things where you think, oh, I don't know whether I want to hear this in case it's awful, and then it wasn't, and it's great, Then
you don't want to hear my version.
I'd love to, a cappella.
No, because me and my cover band we had back in 2003 called Fat Tuesday.
Right.
We went into a little 16-track studio and we did a demo.
Oh,
so
wow.
we shop it around and get gigs.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was one of the first ones we did.
Wow. Excellent. Has anybody ever caught the Ramonas?
No.
Well, as you'd expect, they're an all-girl Ramones tribute band.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
They supported us a couple of times. They were fantastic.
I could love that.
Yeah, it's like the lead singer's really tall and she's just got jet black hair that hangs around. She puts the thing. They're amazing. They really were. You know, that was a real pleasure. That was brilliant. And they just played the songs 100 miles an hour, and in between each one, someone just went 2, 3, 4. But they were really good. So if you see the Ramonas, I know that they've played the States, but they're definitely they've played here in Europe and stuff like that. But you know, all power to them. If it's great, the Ramonas. I love it.
Hey, this might sound like a sad story at the beginning, but it gets funny at the end.
Yeah.
The day of my mom's funeral, the Ramones were playing at the Michigan State Fair.
Right.
You know, it was only $10 to get in. I'm like, really?
Of all the damn times.
I told the wife, and she's like, yeah, let's go. You know, and so we go and we get like right in front. I go, I don't know if we should be here or not. To be honest with you. I go, let's go back a little bit. I go, I don't want to be up front where everybody's gonna crush you.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so we're standing in the crowd, you know, they come out and man, they just rifled through these songs. Right. And if you're not a Ramones fan, you're not gonna be able to pick out one from another.
Yeah.
Right. And so my ex-wife is standing there looking at me going, how in the fuck do you know what song they're playing? I go, you gotta be a fan. You know, you just like you have to know. You know? And she goes, I'm leaving. I can't understand a fucking thing they're saying.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I just started laughing.
Proud.
But didn't we have a similar conversation last time I was on about the song I Don't Want to Go Down to the Basement, where there's no way on earth the word that he ends with is basement. He just I don't want to go. It's just annoying. He just makes a series
of the Ramones, Joey wasn't even singing anymore. All he was doing was grunting.
Yeah.
You know,
but that track in particular cracks me up because it's like there's just no way. I don't know why, but yeah.
I love when CJ would do Warthog. So there's just no way you're going to be able to understand any of that. It was just so great.
I liked all aspects of the Ramones. In that, I love Poison Heart just as much as Rockaway Beach, and you know, and I like the fact they had Tracy Lords on backing vocals on one track on Need Somebody to Love, I think, on the Acid Days thing on there.
Acid Eaters, yeah,
Acid Eaters, yeah. Tracy Lords on backing vocals, fantastic.
The only album by the Ramones I didn't really like was Subterranean Jungle. The production on that was just shit. The drum sound, no.
It happens though. If you've got a massive back catalogue, there's gonna be something. I mean, I don't particularly like Sweet's Level Headed. I know that's a lot of people would say, but it's got Love Is Like Oxygen on it.
I have that album actually.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 copies of it. I've got an American one and an English one, but because they've got different sleeves. One's on Capitol, one's on Polydor. You know, but it's
because you're a completist.
But I remember listening to it for the first time and thinking, I like the rock Sweet. You know, it's I wasn't even that into the singles, certainly not things like sort of Wigwam Bam, what have you. But when I was a kid, I'd get like, you know, Little Willie or whatever and Wigwam Bam or something, and I'd turn it over and it'd be like New York Connection, which has got like the heaviest riff. I mean, their B-side sounded like Deep Purple, didn't they? You know, I think their stuff. And when you listen to Desolation Boulevard and things like Solid Gold Brass, Medusa, all that sort of stuff, they're really heavy songs. And so for me,
I got home and I put on No You Don't.
Yeah, exactly. Set Me Free as well. Not that we pinched that title for Peaceful Cacophony, but it is Set Me Free.
Set Me Free, oh God.
It's phenomenal. I actually went to Mick Tucker's funeral. I went to Mick Tucker's funeral, right?
Oh.
And they took him out at the end. They took him out to Into the Night. You know that song?
The drum part. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so they took the coffin out to that, and that was amazing. You know, it was that good.
Shuffle.
Yeah, it's a shame actually because you just can't. You know, Steve Priest and Andy Scott were at the funeral, and I was stood next to them at several points, but you can't at that point go, "Hey, I'm a big fan." You know, it's just like, you know, that's great.
When I saw the Suite back in 1996,
yeah,
it was Steve Priest's version.
Oh right.
I mean, they were.
But was it a blockbuster?
They were decent. I mean, you know.
I
just wanted to go and say I saw at least one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, it was weird. So I sort of have met them, and I kind of said hi as I walked past, sort of thing, and they presumably knew exactly that was just someone saying hi because I recognised them. They knew I didn't know who I was or whatever. But yeah, it was.
Were you a fan of the Church?
No, I wasn't. I didn't dislike them, but they never caught my sort of record buying ear. You know, but the band Churches, I absolutely love the band Churches.
Yeah,
you know, the one with the female singer, and they spell Churches with a V rather than a U.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that band. I think they're fantastic. You know,
cool,
really, really good.
So what we got?
So Ohio thinks you're making a quilt based on this comment. Wait, nope. It's okay. Maybe it's a quilt for a cat. That's about as size as that's gonna
that would be pretty generous.
What do you?
Okay, I got.
Don't look at me like that, Toby.
The cat's like, I could pee on that probably.
Ah.
Why do I?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's got Bad on it, hasn't it?
What a great version of Bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What are the other tracks? I can't remember.
Let's see. Let's see. Where's the track listing? Oh my gosh. It's not on here. I'll have to read the album. I believe it's Bad, A Sort of Homecoming.
Yeah.
Which is a great tune.
Yeah.
The Three Sunrises and Love Comes Tumbling.
All right. Yeah. I knew Bad was the lead track, but I didn't know any of the other.
It's great to listen to in headphones because the synthesizer just goes around in your head. It's just like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I love
what a great fucking voice.
God. Yeah. From the first album all the way to about Rattle and Hum. And then I kind of jumped off the U2 train.
I think we
just
had
really
the
didn't
same
like
conversation last stream, actually.
We did, yeah. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have little reruns here and
there. I'll give you that, Paul, but I do love tracks like Vertigo, Beautiful Day.
I love Octane Baby.
Yes.
It's really. I watched that U2 at the Sphere, or what is it? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I think in Vegas, yeah.
What a show, man. What a show. That was fantastic. So, but yeah, you're right. I think after Rattle and Hum, full albums dropped off for me. But I love at least 4 tracks off every album since, but not the whole thing.
I took my son to see, because my son is into indie music.
Oh yeah.
Right. So one of the artists I took him to go see was Carol Benito.
Right.
And so, I'm just like standing in the back near the bar. And it's an all ages show. That's the only way my son could go. But anyway, so I'm like standing in the back by the bar. And so one of the songs that she ends up playing was Vertigo.
Really?
And they did a great version of it. I went, to hear a woman sing that was great. Like, okay. Yeah, I could deal with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they get a lot of flack for, I don't know why. I think it's amazing. They've never had a lineup change. That shows me they're good people for a start. The fact they've stuck with those 4 mates that have stuck together throughout all this, and people think Bono's But people always pick on Bono as being a bit of a big head and stuff. But I know a few people who do know him and say he's a fine guy. But what I have noticed in interviews is he always refers to U2 as Larry's band, because it was Larry and his dad had the van, and all the early gigs were down to Larry's dad driving around. It was Larry's band. He decided where they were going to play. And he says that, one of the successes of U2 is that they still have that mentality that Bono never thinks that he's the be all and end all, because it's Larry's band and then it's everyone else's sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's quite a good, that's actually a really good way of running a band. I think.
The best time.
Well, I want to say literally instantly fell in love with them when I saw them open for Echo back in late '80, and I Will Follow, and I was like, it was just coming out on the radio, and I'm like just seeing them live, and everybody's fucking pogoing. It's funny. Are you talking about the new album? Is a covers album, right? I have not had a chance to listen to that. Even Needle's going, Purple's got a new album now. Where's Mike Patton gonna be? Now I don't understand this whole so what the hell? I've never heard Porky's before.
I don't know what they are going on about, but I've been seeing that in the chat for a while.
Does that mean fibs? Is Porky's equal fibs?
I think Loser List is right. I think they are a San Francisco band. I said I didn't know whether they're American or not and stuff. But I think the Ramones are San Francisco, but they do tour Europe and the UK.
But Wispy, is it the covers one that I'm thinking of with the new guitar player? I am so far behind on checking on new releases and stuff.
Are we talking about U2 or Deep Purple?
No, I was talking about Deep Purple.
All right, okay. So Deep Purple have done a covers album.
It seems that way, yes.
All right, okay. Have they done interesting covers or obvious ones?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. When the hell did U2? Well, okay, wait a minute. When was the last U2 album?
Was it that one that was on everybody's iPod?
No, there was one after. There was one after that. I think.
Hey, Melody.
Mellow, are you on the damn tollway again? Are you gonna have to pay tolls?
No, I'm not on the parkway. I just got done with a gig. Literally just got done. I'm driving home now.
It's good to see that you're not wearing dark glasses.
Yeah, no, I know, right? But I literally played 4 hours straight.
Wow.
And literally, I don't know what, David, what do you do? Literally, in the middle of the show, my back just started locking up. Like, I could not get a comfortable position.
And there it goes.
Oh,
Right, please.
Yeah, that ain't me. Wispy, if you're talking about portable door, I love the title track. That's all I've heard.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, were you standing up playing?
Okay.
Yeah, I stand up and play. The acoustic usually doesn't bother me. I've gone 14 hours and then stood.
Yeah.
But now, as I'm getting a little older,
well,
the middle of my back, not the lower back or the higher back, it's right in the middle.
Yeah, I would have requested a stool and just.
I think I'm going to next time.
And say, sorry guys, I'm going to just John Denver it for the rest of the set.
Oh no, I did stop for 5 minutes just to like stretch my back, and then I went right back up and played for another, I don't know, almost 2 hours. And then the second time, it almost started coming back, but I kept twisting. I videoed the whole show, and I'm going to play it later. You'll see me starting to grimace. You'll see me like trying to move, and I'm trying. There's some people there, and I'm like trying not to embarrass myself. Like,
I bet.
I didn't know you had a grimace costume. I got a Hamburglar one. We could book a duo. But here's the thing. Okay, so yeah, all right. So just take a piece of of the stool that you think you'd like the most, for future consideration, which of course would be a stool sample.
I knew we were going there.
That's good.
Somehow
I can't help it. I can't help it.
And I was like, I should have said it.
Look at that. 2 concerts back to back.
Push it in. You'll be all right.
Right.
That's what she said.
But literally, it's like there's no literally when you're in that moment, there's really no position you could go into that will like alleviate the pain. It feels like a Charlie horse. Like it's so, and it happens so quick. Like the littlest movement, all of a sudden it's like my lats and the middle of my back just start locking up. And I'm in the middle of singing. I don't know if it's me pushing the notes that are making that happen, if I twisted or what I did, because I don't feel like I'm doing anything different than I normally do. But maybe it's just a product of getting older. I can only imagine what Ozzy goes through.
No,
I mean, what's your posture when you're playing? Are you a sort of hunched over the guitar player, or do you look up to the lights, or
I do a little of both. Like when I'm playing something instrumental, I'm standing straight up, sometimes looking up. When I'm singing, kind of like the way Lemmy does, but not up above. I just sing forward a little bit. Maybe it is that little bit that's tweaking it. It's just that I've done this my whole life and never seemed to have a problem. And maybe it's just a product of getting older. I mean,
because I got some advice from I had I had a few back problems and stuff, because I always play a Les Paul as well, which is like a really heavy guitar. It's a solid piece of wood as opposed to a hollow body, and I like them. And I start getting these these back pains, and my sister, funnily enough, is a what do you call it? Someone who goes crunch,
therapist,
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and so she said she from my sister. Fuck off.
Right. Come on.
But what I did in the end was she said, well, show me how you play. And so I was just standing in the living room showing how I play, and she said, well, I spotted it immediately and stuff. It's like I was twisting slightly and I was bent over a little bit. So now if you go on my YouTube thing, look for Visage Live, and it's a song called Hero, and it's from the TV. It's a TV broadcast. And you can see I've got my shoulders back, I've got my legs apart, guitar on my hip, as if it's a gun I'm about to fire at somebody. But I've got my shoulders back and my head up most of the time. And that's what she taught me. She said, just get your posture right, shoulders back, because otherwise the weight of the Les Paul is just pushing down on the right hand side, and you're naturally heavy. And so I've been all right ever since then, so I don't know whether that's any help, but I've been all right since then, You know what
I noticed? Sometimes it's depending on the song, too, because, like, if it's a really, like, intense song, I'll do the kind of thing where I'm putting one foot forward, and I'm almost, like, holding the guitar, like, where I'm leaning forward, like I'm holding a gun up, almost, like, it's like that kind of posture.
How you doing, Nick?
Hey, Nick.
Good. How are you, David?
I'm
good to see you.
What's up?
Hello, Paul.
See,
Hello,
and
Jen.
thank you, Nick. You are the first in the experiment.
Oh, what is
You
that?
are, because you count the squares are number 7.
That's
So
it.
today we can expand some
yeah,
now.
more than 6 now.
I was worried you were going to go into some sort of human centipede scenario or something.
We don't need that.
Oh, God. Ooh.
I don't want to see that.
What a terrible movie.
I don't want to see it.
What an awful, awful movie. It's like,
Oh.
once you know the premise, do you really need to watch it? I mean, I've watched it multiple times, but
of course you have to watch it, because you have to see how horrifying it actually is. If it's as bad as your mind is making it out to be, or if it's worse.
Yeah,
Most likely worse.
It's
Call me
worse.
worse, but you can call me worse if you like, but the trailer was enough. I checked out the trailer, and that was enough.
No.
I get the idea.
Game
I can fill in the blanks myself.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Greg Allman is here.
I'd rather watch.
Did you guys see the Joker?
Greg Allman. Greg Allman.
Yeah, it's Greg Allman here.
I heard who's the guy from Yes. I also heard that, and I've heard Johnny Winter too.
I can see the Johnny Winter, but you need to be a little more
Rick
pale.
Wakeman?
I guess so. I mean, this is disgusting, gross, dirty hair. Like needs to be washed.
Yeah, but it does mean that you can refer to yourself as a dirty blonde.
Boy, I can relate to that.
See, David, you're the thinking. The English are the thinking people, aren't they? You guys
Always.
That's what. See. You're smarter than.
Oh no, I don't think I'm that smart. I lay in bed sometimes thinking of just not being able to sleep because I can't work out whether if sponges didn't grow in the ocean, would it be less or more? You know, that sort of thing, you know.
But David, you sound like a proper you sound like a proper gentleman. You know what I mean? Like, listen to Brian May talk. He sounds like a proper gentleman. Like, you have that tone.
I do. I open doors for ladies. I do open doors for ladies.
I want whatever he's smoking.
I'm
smoking, like ogre.
It's
like,
fairly easily obtainable.
Really smells dog.
No, we don't.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! All right.
I look out. You can't really see me in the dark over here, so that's good.
I think we're getting contact high, Nick.
I'm over here being all stuck with mine, bro.
This was
looks like an older guy.
7 grams, called Perpetual Girl Crumble Infused. And so the infused stuff is like 50% THC. So you need like, you know, if you smoke a whole joint of this, you're going to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You know,
it's not legal over here.
It's been a long time for me to have something that does that to me.
That's weird, man. I mean, you'd think.
You still have to.
Is it even on like a bill to be like? It's like extra legal in Massachusetts. They made
also
it like
in California.
more legal than other laws.
I know.
So there you go, stoners. California, Massachusetts, and Lord knows where else. Go run, get your stuff.
New Jersey.
Don't be trying
And
that in
Jersey.
South Carolina.
No, so over here it's still a case of,
no.
Over here it's still a case of you need to have a friend who knows someone, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But,
I felt so ripped off that it was like I had finally gotten my medical marijuana card, and then they legalized it the very next year. I was like, I jumped through all those hoops for nothing. You can
You gotta
realize the benefit for the
pot,
right?
You still have a benefit for owning the card.
That's
At the dispensary, they usually give you a discount because you have a card.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That wasn't totally pointless.
I told you about my getting caught out in America thinking that American weed was probably just the same as English. Did I ever tell you that?
No. You know what, though, Dave? Before you,
I've heard before now.
In England, when we were touring in England,
you
guys can't believe that we smoke like joints, just straight weed, where you guys mix it with tobacco.
Yeah.
Like they're like, how do you guys like smoke that much and function playing?
Yeah.
Like, you know, then performing. It's like you learn to do it. But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Well,
I'm chronic, baby. That's what you tell me. Say I'm chronic, baby.
I'll make it brief, but basically we got to America. Obviously I didn't bring anything with me, and about 3 days later we played San Diego, and there were these kids that were sort of skateboarding in the car park of the venue, and I just went over to one of them and I just went, hey guys, I said, are you going to the show tonight? And they went, yeah. And I said, oh right, I said, could any of you just a little bit of weed, because I said we can't, you know, we're just a little bit. I said, we got to fly. I said, we're flying to Seattle in 2 days, so nothing big, but just something to have, you know, later on. And this kid just went, we can do it. I said, well, if you can get me that, I'll get you a T-shirt from the merch stand.
Sure. I said, you know how much merch I've traded for?
So this kid did. We did the sound check. I came out and he was back and he said, is this all right? And it's great. It's a nice big fat bud. It was really good.
Yeah. Right.
So went back for the bit that's like the 4 hours between sound check and having to go back to the venue. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna have a little one Skinner on the balcony. I'm just gonna have a little one Skinner on the balcony. And I hadn't had any for a while. And I then laid down back on my bed, and the bass player of the band was with me at the time as well, so he was sort of watching telly with me, and it just then it started. And I've never had a whiteout before and what have you, but it got worse. And in the end, because I knew we only had about 20 minutes before we were going to leave, I said to our bass player, can you go and get Craig, who's our tour manager? And I said, I think I've made a terrible mistake. and basically Craig came in, and Craig's brilliant. He was this big guy. He'd been the tour manager for like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, and
Wow.
now he got us. This pale English skinny guy who's overdone it, and he had to pick me up and take me all the way down the stairs. He looked like a big Elvis.
So David,
really funny.
David,
And,
you're saying it's like you're saying it's like Pink Floyd, The Wall, when they're doing Comfortably Numb, and they kick open the door and they carry him out.
But basically, he took me down to the tour bus, and then we went back to the venue. The others got out, all a bit annoyed with me, thinking he's going to fuck this up. And I just felt terrible. So he left me in the back seat, and he said, "Just try and keep breathing in. I'll come back for you when it's time to, get ready and stuff." He came back about 3/4 of an hour later. I still felt terrible. I had to have this tour manager guy who, like I say, looked like an older Elvis, and he'd seen everything. He had to help me get dressed.
Oh my God! Wow!
Oh boy!
Maybe it was laced with something.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
That could be too.
I had to get my leather trousers on and the
shit.
So he got me there, and then he said, "Right, you're gonna have to come in, Dave. You're gonna have to come in. You're just gonna have to try." And I said, "Okay." And the van's spinning and everything, and he's got me under the arms, walking towards the venue, and I get through the door of the venue, and our intro tape starts. Right?
Oh no! You heard? Did it kick something into you?
And I'm thinking, well, wait till the end of the story. And basically, I'm thinking this is going to be a disaster. And I can see my guitar tech standing there with my guitar,
holding the guitar.
Ready to stick it over my head when I go up the stairs.
Right.
And then the tape comes near the end where we have to go up. So I go up. He puts my guitar on for me. And I turn it on, give it a make sure it's on and stuff, and I just think this is disastrous. And then I just heard the drummer behind me just go click, 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 and it cleared.
Isn't that nuts?
Cleared. And we went steaming into the first song, and I looked around at the tour manager, and I was going, "I'm all right. I'm okay."
Isn't it nuts how that can happen, man?
I've never done that again. Never ever risked having, an extra drink or an extra.
That is scary, but
I felt awful. I never want to be that guy,
Man, honestly, that is a great one, David.
David, I'm shocked in the sense because usually when I hear stories like that, when you ask for weed, like you didn't say, "Hey guys, do you have a little bit of reefer?" Usually that's what a lot of Brits call it, a little reefer.
Right. No, I've always just called it weed. I don't know why. But yeah, no, it was really good. But it was just incredibly strong because it's San Diego. It's on the border of Mexico, isn't it?
Oh,
Really you guys are thinning it out with tobacco. Now you're getting a full blast of like some real green garbage.
Yeah. I just I took that one quite badly.
Wow. But isn't it amazing how I don't think it's so much muscle memory at that point. Like it's something higher that comes down and says,
adrenaline.
"Okay."
I think it's adrenaline.
I was going to say I would think it's adrenaline kicking.
Yeah. Because
as soon as it lifted, I realised I was doing scissor leaps off the drum riser and all sorts of shit.
Oh yeah, you were really into it at that point.
Who were you playing with that night?
That was I think that was that Glenn Matlock one? No, they were called the Pistols Experience. That's right. The Pistols
Okay, so it was Matlock singing Pistols.
That sort of, it was that sort of thing. God, it was ages ago. It was 2000 and.
You know what I wanted to ask you about, David? I'm sorry if we are. Tell us both to shut the fuck up for hijacking this.
This stream not sponsored by High Times Magazine.
It's the chat I worry about. It's the chat that I worry about,
They can handle it.
Anyway, ask away. Ask away.
So there was a video that you put up with Keith Levene.
Yeah.
And I have a few of his records because he was on Tang Records, which is out of Boston.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I heard Johnny Rotten singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? And it was like, so what happened in that, like, who was playing what? I saw Keith Levene, but he looked skinny and like not well necessarily, but I can hear Johnny sing. Like, there's no one that can do Johnny Rotten like Johnny Rotten does,
except this guy called Nathan Maverick. His name is Nathan. His name is Nathan Maverick, and he's the singer in a Sex Pistols tribute band called Sex Pistols Expose. And if you look them up, and they're a Pistols tribute band.
Yeah.
But they asked me to play with them, and we did a set a few times for a few festivals and stuff called Public Imitation Limited, and basically we ended up sort of like Jar Wobble became quite interested in it, and he decided to do a gig with the singer and what have you, and then Keith got word of it, and Keith said, I haven't played Public Image songs for like years, and so we said, well, why don't you come and join us? And so we did this. We decided to hire the 100 Club, do Public Imitation Limited featuring Keith Levene, and that was brilliant because we remained friends till he died. He actually died in Norfolk, which is where I live in England.
Oh, okay.
But he, I'm sorry to see him go. He was mad as a box of frogs. But he was a really, really interesting guy. He was a really interesting guy, and
that's a new one for me.
A box of frogs.
Mad as a box of frogs.
Yeah,
I gotta come up with that in a sentence at work sometime this week. That's my homework.
But I mean, he was just one of those guys. You never knew what was gonna happen. It was really exciting.
So that was not Johnny Rotten. That was
that was a guy called Nathan Maverick, and if you and the Facebook page for Sex Pistols Expose is easily attainable, and Sex Pistols Expose, and Nathan's on Facebook as well. He's brilliant. I wasn't too keen on the.
God, he looks like Johnny.
I know. It's fucking weird. Dude. Keith was freaking out. He was freaking out. He was going. He was really, really thrown by the fact that he sounds and looks and holds himself like that. But he's a fantastic actor as well as a very good singer and a very good sort of mimic.
So even his facial expressions have lines written on them.
Yeah.
Wow. I would think of all the people, musicians or anyone, he would be a hard one to mimic.
Yeah, but I mean, as people, we clashed a few times because he's a very different person to me, and I always wanted to be very professional. And he had a bit of the Johnny Rotten in his actual self, really, But I've always said, regardless, we're still friends, But I've always said I've never seen, apart from maybe the Australian Pink Floyd, I don't think I've seen a tribute band nail the songs properly. It sounds like Nevermind the Bollocks, not them live so much, the shambolic sort of thing, but they were so good musicians that and what have you. It was if you were a few rows back and it was a thing like the 100 Club, it really we had people like Sue Catwoman, the legendary Sue Catwoman who's always on the front of pictures.
Yes.
She came along to watch us once, and at the end we went over to ask what she thought of it, and she was crying. She was going, it's like being in a fucking time machine,
Oh, wow.
Really, really good. And so I was the Steve Jones. I was the Steve Jones a lot of the time. And that's why I have such a love of Steve Jones stuff, That's why
Steve Jones, he's a great guitar player, and I mean the fact, I know everyone thinks he played a Les Paul through a Marshall, but that was a Fender Twin, right?
Twin, with Gauss speakers in it.
Yeah.
He said.
What speakers?
And he is Gauss.
Gauss.
They're Gauss, Gauss, I think. I think they're German sort of thing, but I think it was something. I think Chris Thomas did something like that in the studio with him, put these speakers in. But Yeah, it was the Fender Twin, and
yeah.
What?
I mean,
yeah,
whatever the sound was, he got for Nevermind.
yeah,
It's a guitar sound that I would love to, mimic in certain parts. It's just
well, basically, I mean,
nailed it.
Chris Thomas would get him to play the guitar part that he would play live, and then he'd get him to do it exactly the same again, but an octave lower.
Oh, okay.
And so you had these two rhythm guitars, just massive, and then you add the bass to that.
Yeah,
and it's just, you've got like a Panzer Division rhythm section and what have you, and so yeah, it's really good. And he also, for Steve Jones fans out there, he uses Ernie Ball greens.
I use GHS Boomers 11s, and I have enough of them to last me 5 lifetimes.
Right.
You get like sponsorships are weird. Like it's like you in like the first 2 months when you're like, oh yeah, the new guy is, and they send you everything and all you need and all extra stuff, and then they totally forget about you. And I call up and be like, hey, I'm going to be on tour for X amount of time. I need X amount of these strings and X amount of those strings. And they ended up at the end just sending me like a box, which was pretty much a shut up and fuck off with you. And I didn't care. But, I had enough strings to last me like life.
Hey, I got a funny band story for you.
What you got?
Because I've been writing my book.
Okay.
Right. Because there's just so many bullshit things that have gone on in my life. Man, it was just all funny shit.
Mellow.
Oh,
I don't know. I didn't do it though. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Maybe cut out again.
No, but anyway, my band, Some Assembly Required, that was our original band.
Yeah.
I was in a band with my brother Joe on guitar, my brother Scott on the drums, and our friend Jeff Bowman on bass. So we're going to cut our first 4-song demo, right? And so we're doing it at this barn in Roseville, Michigan in the middle of December.
Oh, nice.
Right? Yeah. So it was like fucking freezing.
Nice warm, huh?
And so we got to go up. We have to climb up this ladder to the second story of this barn. You got animals down below. It's just like, what the hell's going on here? So anyway, so as we go up the ladder, there's like a porta potty at the bottom of the ladder.
Oh no!
And it has a sign on it that says "Don't use." Right? That was just like something to laugh about as we were like just going up the ladder. So during the day, we're starting to put vocals on the stuff, and then all of a sudden you could smell shit. Coming up, I'm like, hey, where's the shit smell coming from? And my brother Scott starts laughing. He's like, well, I had to take a shit. I go, oh my God. I go, that's so fucking punk rock. That's fucking hilarious.
Maybe he was emulating Chi Allen that night. I don't know.
Actually, a dude I know, his name is Bloody Mess.
Yes, I watched his YouTube things. Yeah, he was a friend of Gigi Allen, wasn't he?
He is a good friend of Gigi's. He and I have ended up like talking outside of YouTube, and he and Gigi were friends for many years, and he says Gigi was not some junkie loser coke hair. He said the dude liked to drink, and he said he smelled but he lived what he was, singing about and doing.
That dude was crazy.
He thinks it was probably his father was very mentally ill. He's heard the stories.
Have you seen the documentary All in the Family?
That was crazy. Yes.
I don't know.
Al in the family, All in the Family. It's like a play on words. It's amazing that they're interviewing his mum and all this sort of stuff. It's just, bless her. She's such a sweet old lady. She's just like,
oh yeah. The mother is so cute and sweet.
Yeah.
And what was it? I saw a YouTube clip. I think it was an early '80s clip. Somebody filmed from a record store that he was making an appearance at.
Yeah,
and he was far from what later would be, very far different picture of JG than what he would end up being. And I was just like, well, he could be laid back and pretty cool. He didn't always have to go crazy, go nuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he really stepped it up in 1993 when he came out of prison for the last time. Whatever happened to him in there, I think it really pushed the buttons.
That's exactly what I call him, Mr. Mess. But
yeah,
bloody. I'm not calling someone bloody.
Yeah.
So,
hey, bloody, how's it going?
That's bloody. Said he thinks that the mental illness and the jail thing just fucked him up.
Yeah,
he came out of there, and he said he didn't hear from him much. Like, they were good friends up until around that time, and then he just heard that he had died in an apartment from a heroin overdose, which he didn't even do. So he probably didn't even know how much to do.
No.
I don't know. I mean, he live fast, die young. I don't know.
He had a serious problem, though. They said that he was gonna literally on Halloween, the day that he died, he was gonna empty a gun out into the audience, and it was about to God that they took him before that could happen.
Yeah, well, he was in prison, wasn't he, on that date? So he couldn't do it.
He was.
And that was his excuse.
He was.
Sorry, I was in prison.
Sorry, I can't do it.
But yeah, very strange, but an incredible sort of mystery. And I think I said here as well, is like when I'm doing the sort of New York leg of a particular tour and Jersey and what have you, we played the Fast Lane, and I've got the G.G. Allen video of him playing the Fast Lane.
You played the Fast Lane? I fucking love that place.
Yeah, it's next to the bowling alley, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking the Stone Pony's not far away either?
No, that's around the corner.
Pony is very close, like right on the ocean. There.
Nick, are you New Jersey too?
No, I've just played all over the East Coast a lot.
Wow, because I'm Jersey Shore.
I played the Stone Pony a lot though.
I love Stone Pony.
Playing the Fast Lane was one of those venues where I just felt I was walking into some sort of rock and roll church.
Yes.
Building, I just pictured it. It's like I played the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas as well, which was the famous Sex Pistols gig just before Winterland, where Sid gets hit in the face with a beer can and his nose is all bloody. And there's in the middle of Joe No Fun, someone obviously is gesturing to Steve Jones to the point where he just dives into the audience with his guitar around his neck, starts fucking punching people and stuff like that. It's mental. But for me, I had that on a bootleg video for 20 years or something, a black and white thing. It kept rolling and stuff. And then finally it came out on DVD. And then all of a sudden I found myself there, standing in exactly the position that Steve Jones was in, looking out. That's the only angle. That's the only angle you don't get to see on the video, isn't it? Then what they see from standing on the stage.
No, you don't see that.
And then walking off into the dressing room thinking, wow, they're all sat in here. And just, I don't know. It is a bit
it really is nuts when you actually are in certain
it's like standing out. It's like standing outside the standing by the Sentry box in at the Dakota building.
And Nick, what band did you play the Fast Lanes at, and what year was that?
It was 2006, and again, it was called the Pistols Experience.
And what about you, Nick? What year did you play there?
The band I was playing with that was touring a lot at that time, it was between 2010 and 2013, like a bunch of times, because there were a lot of times where you just end up going out for, like 4 days or so.
Right.
And,
And what band?
Oh, the band was called Big D and the Kid. I think I have their shirt on.
Yeah,
Nice.
Big D and the Kids Table. It was a ska punk kind of band. And they
Are you
actually
sure it was the Fast Lane that you played that? Because the Fast Lane didn't close down actually in like 93, 94.
No,
You might have played Asbury
other
Lanes.
band, though. This was with me,
Right,
my
right.
other band.
Asbury Lanes is the bowling alley. It's incredible. They have all famous
Asbury
bands that go there.
Lanes.
That's a famous venue.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
not
it was
a good place to play though. It
I remember
Right.
sounds awful.
But
Right.
I remember the sign was still there. Where it
Yeah,
said
the sign was there for years. The Fast Lane.
Right.
And then they have the
Okay.
Fast Lane too. Bon Jovi played there. I saw Mr. Bungle there. I played there myself many times, but
Yeah.
in the early 90s when it was like fully operational.
Yeah, no, the first one in the 90s, my first band, we were touring around 94.
Nice.
And that's when I played the Fast Lanes, was around 94.
Mr. Bungle has a famous show on YouTube from the Fast Lanes from 1991. Incredible performance. You want to see an incredible band? I was there at that show. Incredible.
I have to admit,
I'm
that
from
is-
Detroit.
that is one band that just goes.
They are.
Oh yeah,
tried.
you know what?
I've tried.
Hey, James.
Me too, David.
My brother.
Dude. I've
like-
tried
it's
too.
It's like Captain Beefheart.
Yeah, Mike Patton is a very strange artist.
Hey, Jeff.
And every album that Mr. Bungle did, the first album was that experimental jazz. Then Disco Volante was like more like almost thrashier.
I have Disco Volante, an original.
It's an incredible album, but California is their most accessible. They're most where they started becoming more pop. Like Pink Cigarette is an incredible song off that record. Look at the video for Pink Cigarette.
Title for a song.
Retro Vertigo, Dragon Force, was it Dragon Force or Five Finger? One of those bands redid Retro Vertigo and has an incredible video. I think it's Dragon Force.
Yeah.
That has it. And they redid slipped my mind already. My brain shot.
Pink Cigarette. I like that. That's fine.
Yeah, Pink Cigarette's a phenomenal song. Retro Vertigo. Cool. That's it. Retro Vertigo. Yeah.
Like Melody and David or any of you must have like a place where when you think of like, oh, that would make a cool song title or an album or so, like you must have a list of those, right?
Oh my God. I have over 2,300 songs in my lifetime. 2,300.
Wow. Damn.
Since I was 15, I started, and I just kept stockpiling them. I feel like, honestly, like the guy in the movie Yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I have a Beatle catalog in my head that the world don't know about, but to me, I know all about it.
Yeah.
I find,
I
find sort of album titles hard to come up with because I want to I want it to
encompass
sort of mean the thing.
Yeah.
I'm recording now an EP for myself. I just wanted to do something of mine. And,
Awesome.
And I knew that in the real world, there's people. Music just doesn't sell anymore and stuff. But the 4 songs that I'm putting in, they really mean something to me. And so I decided to call it. I've managed to get this sort of brass head, sort of like a mask thing and what have you. And it's got a finger like this, and it's about the same size as my head, but it's gold. So I thought the cover would be the two of us looking at each other. But
nice.
The EP is going to be called "Shh, No One Cares."
That's good. I like that.
That is good.
That's really good, David.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, that's a great. I
wish I thought of that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my first one was if all's not lost, where is it? But
nice.
I like the no one cares.
Yeah,
it's true. It's
that is
true.
good.
I like that too.
That is really good. Now, how are you? Now, you and Nick, how are you guys feeling about the AI revolution in music? Are you guys experimenting with it at all, or? I've been experimenting with it all. As someone, like I said, wrote so many songs.
I've got an interesting answer to your question for this panel particularly, because I just ignored it and thought, fucking it, until I heard that Beetle Babe one. And I thought, and I did, I thought, holy shit. If Beetle Babe had come to me and say, look, Dave, I've got a budget of, 200 quid or anything or whatever. Could you do me a Beetle Babe theme tune? I'd like it to be quite swingy, and I'd like to, I would never have come up with something as good as that fucking AI thing. That really sent a shiver.
Literally was on a free website to boot.
But
That wasn't even with putting money into it. They have a paid thing. I was like,
the lyrics
literally.
It's you,
David,
the lyrics
it's so unbelievable nowadays, like what this thing is capable of doing. It's going to out Beethoven and out Beatles and out Elvis and out everything that humans are even possible of doing. Literally, I put in just ideas from literally 1990. I was putting it in there, and it was literally jumping into my body from a cassette recording. It separated my drummer, my bass player, me, separated my vocals, then started singing as me, taking my idea, extending it. Then it started putting a keyboard solo in there. Then it started putting violins and like the way it becomes a mixer, an engineer, literally like telling you like this is how your song could sound like. It's like hearing it from a different dimension, and it's playing my parts.
God.
But I do think I'm definitely going to have to kiss goodbye. I can see that I'm going to kiss goodbye to a small part of my career, but I have in the past been asked if I can, like for an advert or something, can you come up with a track that sounds like an instrumental of the Pistols, or say, but not copyright infringement sort of thing,
Right.
And so I'll do something that has got a lot of
right.
I know my stuff, and a good
David, I'm telling you, put in one. Go to Suno.com, put in one of your demos, and hit the extend feature, and then you even describe what kind. If you wanted a country version of your idea,
I have a bunch of little jingles.
Suno.
Like that.
I'm telling you, I got thousands of ideas. I was putting in whistle. I was literally just going.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people.
And then it filled in the rest with my melody. Say what?
It was a skill. It was a skill that I had. I could do a song in the style of something, but not get any copyright sort of things.
I'm telling you, you could.
They won't need me for that now.
Yeah, and ask them to give you a classical movie score version of your idea. That's what's crazy. You could say, I want a country version of my idea, and here what a country version. And it's presenting to you. Then you could take it and put it in an audio splitter. Say you hear a piano part that you like. You can literally lift that piano part and blend it into your song now.
Or you can say, what would it have sounded like in the 80s? Do it in the 80s.
Right. Like my God. I'm telling you. I had a 12 guitar part. I did a Brian May 12-track guitar part. It literally took tracks 5 and 6 of that, blended, changed the melody, but kept the tone of the guitar, kept my strumming pattern, kept my even picking, and it's doing it, reflecting it back at me. That's how it learns human maneuvering so well. It even kept my strumming pattern. It's so incredible and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Melody? This is just, I hope, an amusing sort of thing that I've noticed about you, right? Which I love.
Yeah.
But because I'm English and we're all very sort of thing, the only time I've ever heard anyone talk the way you talk at the volume and stuff is when they've actually had me round the throat and held me up against a wall.
You know what? That's just the area.
Interesting insight.
I never heard that particularly said to me, but I take that as a compliment.
As you should. Ladies and gentlemen.
But do you go into shops and go, I'd like a pound of onions?
Give me that half a pound of damn!
Going for over 2 hours, Paul. You've been a wonderful host while I've been here.
Paul.
How are things? How are you, dude?
Everything is doing okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a shark. Get out of the pool, motherfuckers.
But anyways, but seriously, I'm going to have to wind this down because I have to take kiddo to work. But I love having you guys on. I'm glad we got this new experiment. No fucking duck anymore in the corner. Wow. I love having everybody. Oh, and Royce, I love you, but now you show up just as I'm getting rich.
Oh, Royce.
Royce, do you have a video? Are you doing one right now, Royce? Everybody go to Royce's if Royce is going to go do a stream. That's what I say. final thoughts. Anybody? I'm not going to put pictures up. Final thoughts. Anybody want to say anything?
It was
really quick?
great talking to everyone about fun stuff. And
Nick, I'm glad you showed up.
I'm still waiting to see Jen's artwork.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Which artwork?
Jen,
what are
show
you working on there?
Show how far you've gotten.
The cross stitching is not much to show off yet. It's just like a Flintstones thing that I thought was going to be quick. Yeah,
Nice.
I thought it was going to be a quick little project that was going to take maybe a few months, and yet I started this in December, and that's how far I am. I'm like, this is going to be.
And that's a lovely Paul McCartney shirt you got.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
very
Paul,
much so.
Thank you very much for hosting.
Well,
I'm glad
you.
I got to. I got home. I popped on the thing and saw. Look at these people. There's some people I would like to hang out with.
This is me.
Awesome, Nick.
My monthly crew. And I'm thinking though, okay, considering even though I've got the 4-state record show, which starts at 9 in the morning over in Carthage, Missouri, of course. But I'm not going to be there all day. Okay, if I do a stream Saturday, though, it's going to have to be earlier because around 6 p.m. I'm heading out across town to wrestling. That's right.
Oh, cool.
And,
So where? Who's wrestling? What wrestling?
A whole bunch of great 45s. We got some original Parlophones here.
Nick, so here's what. Saturday, if we do a show, this is for everybody. Bring 45s. I've got stuff to show. We could do a Saturday 45 thing.
What wrestling show are you going to?
All right.
Ozark Mountain Wrestling, which is a local, but they're bringing in, unfortunately, he is not the heavyweight champ anymore due to losing the 6-way match at Slammiversary last Saturday. But Moose will be here. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Moose. Now, I'm waiting for Squirrel, his tag team partner. Holy smoke, Moose.
Paul, a guy I know from my town, he sets up wrestling events and flies in like wrestlers and stuff. And I don't know if you know him or have ever worked with him, but I forget his last name. But his girlfriend I know better. But
of course, you show up at the last few seconds. What the hell? You've been so late. I literally have got to go. Everybody, we love you. Saturday, we will show.
I'll be showing my show later, too.
All right.
I'll be showing my show.
Good talking
to you guys.
Kick
ass, rock and roll.
I'm gonna stream my show later if anybody wants to see.